ties with Rwanda as rebel groups, allegedly backed by Rwanda, advance toward the strategic city of Goma.
The escalating conflict has displaced thousands of civilians.
In Colombia, tensions with the United States have escalated after President Gustavo Petro denied entry to U.S. military planes carrying deported migrants. In response, the Trump administration imposed a 25% tariff on Colombian imports. Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has been indicted on charges of insurrection following his attempt to impose martial law, marking an unprecedented political crisis in the country.
The indictment could result in decades of imprisonment if he is convicted.
The Trump administration has launched a series of immigration enforcement raids in Chicago, targeting churches and schools as part of a broader crackdown on undocumented migrants.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statements of fact.
It's like day-old bread.
Independent fact-checking and
sorry, you can't hear the
corrections are
disclaimer.
encouraged.
I'll be quiet.
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
Oh. Well, here's the deal. You can't get Colombian coffee. Or you can, because that Colombia is linked in the eye. What's something?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Here we go.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
You don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. Oh, don't make me laugh. That's funny. You got no funny thing. PD doesn't like the music. So that's why I play it. Look, James Tom Sawyer. Get it? What's this? Boom to the boom. Get it? You don't get it. Good morning. It is Tuesday, right? Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. That's right. Correct? Yes? We're almost done with January, and that's always a good thing. January is the suckiest month of the year. I'm sorry if your birthday happens to be in January. It's just true, especially if you live in the Northeast. It starts to get spring-like next week. Groundhog Day, where we eat all groundhogs all day long, and then it starts to get a little – days seem to get longer. The weather seems to start – stopping freezing. That's what it's super freezing. So look forward to that. If you voted for Donald Trump and your wife is getting deported and you're crying, please don't deport my wife, you're an idiot. A very staunch Trump supporter. His wife is getting deported to Venezuela, and he's surprised. Hey, wait a minute. She was in the process. In the process, doesn't matter. Also, in all that stuff that people are trying to say, well, Barack Obama was talking about deporting illegal, and you know what? The Democratic Party was doing it in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Yes, people were committing crimes, and Joe Biden deported lots and lots of people. The difference is that, and this is where the comprehension fails, they weren't productive workers, tax-paying workers, people who were not committing crimes while they were here, but actually contributing to society. Trump is just, if you're brown, if you're a little bit brown, if you're even olive-skinned, maybe we should just get rid of you. Kids, and they're bringing military into schools. Kids are afraid to go to school. because the military might come in, ICE military, and take him away. So comprehension is not part of the Trump cult. Anyway, we'll move past that. Today we have Andy Andrus and Lana Seibel. Lana, you know Lana. Lana's been with us before. I fucked up. Yes, I did. I fuck up a lot. Shouldn't surprise you. I fucked up. I have in the description. I have hour 1, Lana Seibel, and hour 2, Andy Andrus. It's backwards. Andy should be here momentarily. I know he's up. We discussed him coming on early. I was surprised that he would want to be on the first slot, but he's a roll with it kind of guy. So he'll be here shortly. We're waiting for him. In the meantime, just one more thing about this Trump thing before we move on. There's a Fox host. First of all, Al Edwards, our news guy. He's got the 3-day-old, 5-day-old news about the Colombia stuff, the trade wars. Those trade wars are not going to be pretty, but that's already been resolved. Colombia already blinked with the tariff threat with Trump. But there's a Fox News host saying, well, we can get around that by just making our own coffee. It's not about making your own coffee, you stupid. It's about where you get the beans from. That's why, never mind. I almost said something very racist, very overtly racist. But anyway, so, it's not about making coffee. But speaking of coffee, we have a new sponsor, and I want to tell you about it. It's mushroom coffee, Rise mushroom coffee. Not, right there. That's a pretty picture, right? Rise. Rise mushroom coffee comes in 6 aptogenic mushroom flavors, whatever is adaptogenic. I never heard that word before. Adaptogenic comes with cordyceps. I'm going to get all these wrong. Cordyceps, King Trumpet. That's the one I want. King Trumpet. Shiitake. Now, shiitake, I'm not putting shiitake in my coffee because it sounds like bukkake with shit. That's just a shiitake. It's like all these guys shitting on your face, right? Turkey Trail, Reishi, which I don't know, and Lion's Mane. I would probably go with the Lion's Mane, right? Throughout college, Rashad and his girlfriend, Andre, fell into a vicious cycle of coffee overconsumption, not treating their bodies or minds right. They were desperate for a solution, and they discovered superfood mushrooms, which was now they're missing magic. Now, they're not magic mushrooms, but you could put magic mushrooms in your coffee. Anyway, if you want to get Rise mushrooms, try it out. That's what I'm drinking today. You could tell because I'm a little weird, right? Well, a little weird with it. But, yeah, you can get it at minddogtv.com/mushroom-coffee. Go check it out. The boys are here. The men are here. The girls are here. How do you separate the men from the boys from the men? How do you separate them? You just let Ron Kane whip out his wiener like he did at Governor's Comedy Club the other night, and then the women just run away. Anyway, I'm going to play this little piece, and then we'll say hello to the men.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
All right, we'll get off my screen. Ladies and gentlemen, I will take the top spot. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now are Stephen Mushroom Boy sitcom Ortiz, Ron Whip It Out in Governor's podcast room, Kane, and GD, I Need Some Mushroom Coffee, Henderson. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Are you afraid of being deported and or losing your citizenship? Well, for $49.95, you can join the MindDog TV Native American tribe, and you can have your home declared a reservation. MindDogTV.com. Come to us for protection and condoms.
Wait, there's a fee?
$49.95.
Didn't tell me there was a fee. There was no. You just. I'm. What the hell was that? Who just rang a bell? Somebody rang a bell.
Somebody bumped their mic. It was just somebody bumping their mic.
Boing.
Boing.
I feel like.
Ooh.
Anyway, we're waiting Andy Andrews, who should be here momentarily. I know he's up. He's just trying to be polite and waiting for the 15-minute mark, which is weird because politeness was not the first thing I think of when I think of Andy. And then Lana will be here in an hour too. What was that?
Finish inside me.
Okay.
You guys had a show without me yesterday. It went well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, only,
if it went well, why did Rob?
Misogyny was only 50%. The racism was probably about 65%. So it was about normal.
Wow. But Ron, I know I popped in when I was at my meeting, and I noticed you weren't there. It's like you bailed on the boys. You left them alone.
Yep, because my mom called me, so I had to take that call.
Oh, I wish my mom would call me. Hello, I'm dead. How are you?
I'm glad my mom don't call me.
Matt, no, I think if your mom called you, she'd say, Matt, send ice water. It's hot as hell.
Jeez. Dang, GD, shots fired already.
Okay, first of all, I didn't say she was in hell. I said it's hot as hell. It could be a very warm day in heaven.
So when with my mom's ailment and shit, so when she calls me, I answer.
Yeah,
right,
you know
that
what?
Makes sense.
If my ex-brother would call me today, I would tell him I want him to die. I want him to die today. You've been, you know why? Here's the deal. I woke up this morning to a Wall Street Journal report that Trump had ordered all money, all benefits to be put on hold until they eliminate them, including Social Security and Medicaid. The one thing I argued with my brother, my ex-brother, before the election was he's going to end Social Security and he's going to end your medical coverage. Oh, he could never do that. That would never happen. You're out of your mind. Here it is. Basically, you might have gotten your last Social Security check. Die, you stupid motherfucker. That's what I want to say.
Well, now, Social Security and Medicare won't be affected this time.
According to the Wall Street Journal, that's up in the air. They have not, that's not decided. Of course, the people who will fight to protect that are the people in the other party. But according to the Wall Street Journal report I just read, it's not decided
but
yet.
Not just the people in the other party now. Remember, not every senator is lame duck. Okay, Trump is lame duck. But those senators and Congress people, if they want their jobs again in 2 years and 4 years and 6 years, they know not to fuck with Social Security because until their constituents die off. Okay.
No, politically, I can't imagine that. Well, I can't imagine that the cult would be okay with that. They'd find some way to, even when they take their money away, they would still find a way to stay loyal to the Fuhrer.
Well, politically, they're on the clock, and politically, they only have 1 year, really, before anything, because like I've stated before from that article, that they have a year, and if Trump really fucks things up, which he already has, they're going to have to start campaigning at 1 year into his presidency because they try and clean up his mess.
And GD calls him a lame duck. He doesn't think he's a lame duck. He's trying to overturn the 22nd Amendment and run again, or just
again. That's an amendment which takes let me see, what, three-quarters of the House, two-thirds of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, 3/4 of the population or the states.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to happen.
But
most of what Donald Trump does is theater and smoke and mirrors so that we get distracted from the actual harm that he is doing.
Well, you talk about it's not going to happen. Pete Hegseth was not going to get confirmed. That happened.
That's different. No, I don't think I said Pete Hegseth was going to be confirmed. And besides that, that's totally different. That only takes 51 senators.
People cave. People cave whenever he talks about these kind of things. They cave. That's okay.
But look at Hegseth got nominated by J.D. Vance's vote. That means there were some Republicans with some spines.
Right.
Okay. I'm not saying, but not enough.
Marco Rubio is going to get confirmed. Marco Rubio is a war hawk who basically nobody wants in there, and he's going to get confirmed.
Well, I won't say nobody wants, because if you listen to what they're saying, they don't approve, they don't like what he stands for, but they believe he's at least qualified to do the job, as opposed to
I think it's all about opening up a seat for somebody in Trump's family to be a senator in South Florida, from South Florida. That's basically.
Well, they've already picked the person to replace him in Florida, and it's not a Trump person. It's not a Trump family member anyway. Now,
DeSantis is screaming that the legislature in Florida is screaming about the legislature in Florida, saying no, we're gonna go with a Trump person. So.
Well,
you're like Alan Edwards. You're like a day.
I hate it here.
Here.
Welcome to Minucci's.
G.D. Edwards. Anyway,
Minucci's.
Andy's here. Let's say hello to Andy. Wait, let me change the layout here and welcome Andy back to. Well, Andy's black.
Whoa!
You didn't know Andy was black. Wait. Let him buffer. You see him buffering?
I see him buffering.
I thought he was trying to hypnotize us.
Yeah, well, he is hypnotizing me. There he is. What is that? Oh, that's his hand.
That's my hand.
I thought it might have been his ball sack. Good morning, Andy.
I'm not that technically advanced.
That'll be the second ball sack we saw today.
Yeah. Have you met these guys, Andy? Ron Kane and Stephen Niscoca?
I had to get my glasses because I thought that was Dave Attell.
Yeah.
No, I know. He's. Do you have your father collar on there? I have seen.
Oh yeah, no, that's not the Rev. He just looks like the Rev.
Okay, all right. I guess we're yeah. Hello,
they all
guys.
look alike.
Yeah, they all look the same. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny.
All us bald white men looked alike.
Yeah. Ron,
we're close.
Ron was looking more like Dave Attell. Then he shaved his beard, but he's starting to get the Attell look back again.
Yeah.
Which I would use to my advantage if I were him.
Free drinks.
I
don't drink anymore, but my friends will have them. That's all you need to learn.
Yeah. I have not talked to you in a while. Thanks for coming on this morning. I am really interested about this Ukraine trip that you guys took. First of all, whose idea was that? Was that your idea?
Stan Hope. He'd had contact with a journalist that did a story there, and on the comedy scene, and they most of the comics there said that Doug was their idol or somebody that they admire, and I guess I'm not. Part of that was attrition. Is Doug's videos made it in Ukraine, and so he was one of the few people that they listened to. So anyway, that's how it started, and a comedian got a hold of Doug and asked him if he wanted to come out, and so that was as simple as it was. He just started going, "Hey, do you want to go to Ukraine?" And I thought, "Fuck yeah, I'll go." I mean, I don't have a problem with dying, so I thought it'd be pretty cool. And then Doug blurted to my daughter when I was talking to her on the phone that, "Guess what? Me and your dad are going to the Ukraine," and she wasn't very cool with it.
Now, was she cooler after you told her that your will had been, resolved and she was in it?
No, nothing. I mean, she just honestly didn't want me to go after helping me, with my cancer battle. She thought it seemed foolhardy to go to a war zone.
Yeah, it's like you're tempting fate.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. And then, but one of the conversations with the comedian before we got out there is he goes, would you guys, and he didn't speak English very well, so it didn't sound like this, but he asked if we wanted to go to the front of the war. And I always like to get in, it's like a fast pass at Disneyland. Sure, I get to go right to the front without training or anything. So yeah, we stood right in the front line of the war and
now,
participated,
did you hear bombs?
if you will. Huh?
With bombs going off like around you?
There
and
wasn't.
Stuff up?
We had the lead. Ukraine was winning at that point. We were bombing Russia. They weren't. Fortunately, they didn't bomb us back because we were there while artillery was being launched into Russia, and I was standing around there like, this is great, not even aware that possibly they could fire back. But it was a very the whole experience was worth it. We went through probably 100 miles of driving like a video game. They drive on these highways like they won't stop. They go by checkpoints. At one point we were going by an ambulance that had its sirens on. These military dudes driving us on this bombed out highway. That was pretty fucking. I wouldn't say fun, but it's one of those things where when you start thinking, why is this guy not even slowing down at checkpoints? And then you think about drone bombing, and that's what it was. Is they don't slow down. There's two cars going together, so they're a target. So if they slow down, they're going to get bombed. So.
Holy shit! I can't see. This is why I can't even imagine doing comedy there. At any time on the road, you're kind of looking up, just or
it's the cool thing about it. It was so we thought we'd go to the front and do comedy, kind of like I guess that Good Morning Vietnam when Robin Williams stops it. Hello, ho, hey, all that. We didn't. If an audience gathers at the front, they will get blown up. So.
Wow.
It's
so you go to each individual soldier and do your routine?
Well, there was 4 soldiers with us, 2 in each car, and then we went to the front and there was more soldiers there, but just people would come out of brush, say hello. And I did get some solid laughs, but it involved, blowing artillery and falling down and humping one of the soldiers. So I was definitely not doing bits. But it was fun. That was kind of a interesting dynamic to be there, not understand much of what's being said and make them laugh. Just being, But I think that being funny on the front line isn't really safe for you could be the funny guy on the front line for like I did, in and out. But
so I guess comedy on the front line is like kill or be killed, I guess.
Yeah. If they. Well, we didn't film this, fortunately, but there was one soldier who he broke the language barrier by accusing us of butt fucking, or, he'd make these. So that was, okay, we understand what this guy's saying. Anyway, there was a symbol for butt fucking. Yeah.
Is there an international butt fucking sign, like a symbol for butt fucking?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I understand what this guy's saying, but he was kind of funny. We called him the fat one, but he was more fit than any of us, but he was a little chunky by battle standards. But anyway, a couple of the guys were chasing him around while we were flying drones and goofing around. We all had weapons, so goofing around's different when you're carrying machine guns and such. But anyway, they chase this one dude, and I go, no, don't. I said, I'm an American. No, no horseplay. And then they go, no, we're gonna. So they gave it. Oh, you're gonna try to fuck him, joking or whatever. But then I go, I'll take care of this. And then he scrambled. He ran down a hill, but everything's real muddy there, and he slips and falls. And he's having trouble getting to his, feet, and he's on his hands and knees. And I've seen Deliverance, so I run around and I get behind him and I go, ee! Like I'm fucking him and making pig noises. And I've written comedy in my day and gotten laughs for that. And but man, did I killed it there. Fucking a soldier from behind, or simulating fucking a soldier from behind. Fortunately, everybody laughed. Even the soldier I had humiliated, and they called him the American bitch after that, and all. But it was
Oh
all
my
hilarious and all. But
All right, help me wrap my head around this. So, because this is where I can't figure out. You fly into a commercial airports are open in Ukraine. Like I could just
no, we
fly
go to
in.
Warsaw. We're Warsaw, and then we hired a private driver to take us across the border. So we got to go past, past the nuclear disaster, past the Holocaust. We're like, we can't stop. We're not tourists. We got to go. We got to go fight in this fucking thing. But yeah, we went
Holy
across
fuck.
the border with this dude he didn't speak at all, which was great. And every once in a while, he'd rub his bald head, like no matter what was going on the road. And it wasn't as scary in Poland, but this guy drove a little crazy too. But we just had a feeling this guy was kind of a badass. And we asked once we got across the border, we got a second driver. He spoke English, and we asked about our first driver, and he said, yeah, he used to interrogate people for the police. So I imagine that's a little rough. But yeah, so we got across the border. That was not a problem. We were all, white guys, I guess, so if we looked Asian at all, I don't know that would have been an easy crossing, because we got there right at the same time the North Koreans were amassing.
Oh yeah.
But into Kyiv, Kyiv was like being in any other city, and nice. You go down the sidewalk, people are selling flowers and like a Saturday market setup. And then every once in a while an air raid would go off, and you'd have to, you were supposed to scramble to safety, but I was pretty drunk on the first one, and I got I wouldn't call it a war injury, but there was an air raid siren, and I was supposed to go to the bomb shelter, and I fell into a nightstand.
See, now with that, if Biden was still president, you would have gotten a Purple Heart for that, because
Biden was president. I don't know that
I mean now, right?
Going over there with this douchebag. I mean, it's a totally different coaching and totally different. I mean, I feel bad for my folks in Ukraine, the people I met there with this fucking nonsense.
What?
No, you said you had arms or rifle.
Yeah, they kept handing me guns, which, in America, people know my reputation and whatever. But these guys, once during we were just goofing with our other car, the two cars going, and they got in our way or something, and the guy goes, "Shut ya." So the guy handed me a weapon and said to menace him. So the other car goes by, and I got the gun. I'm trying to be pointed above the car, so I'm not a total asshole. But then when we were on the drone range, I guess the drone guys and our bad at, like the guys we were with, I think kill in close, like
right.
wet work. And then the drone guys, so I think there's a little, like maybe rivalry. So while they're flying the drone, they're kind of a nerd, drone nerds. And one of the guys told me to shoot the drone down. And fuck yeah, man, hand me your firearm. And I started firing shots at the drone. And then the drone guy goes, "What are you, a fucking gangster?" So I stopped. I don't think I could. If I could have hit the drone, then maybe I'm still there working with them. But
if you could hit the drone, you could be there paying off the drone. It's like that was $4 billion. You have to stay here and work it off.
Yeah, even if I, manage, I'm shooting up. We're in a range, and there's shots coming from the other direction or whatever. But I'm squeezing off bullets in the air like I'm, that. And then I think, what if one of those landed down on somebody? That would kind of be a bummer.
That's how they recruit soldiers there. They get them to damage expensive equipment, and then you have to stay until you paid it off.
Yeah. Well, I did get the fire on the Russian positions with the artillery.
Oh, nice.
Which
nice.
I did. I mean, Doug had his mother's ashes and a purpose. He was going to put his mother's ashes in a bomb, and they were going to blow it off, but they asked him to go ahead and fire the round. So, we didn't know we were going to participate in the war. We just thought we were there to goof. So Doug fires off a missile or an artillery shell into Russia. And then they changed the coordinates, and then they go, ask me. They go, would you like to fire it off? And I go, heck yeah, man. I love fireworks, and I didn't do a very good job on it. You got to pull it once and let go, and I was like kind of half-assed it. And then bam, I blew up. It blew off and went into wherever. And later I didn't think about there might be targets. Probably targets.
They probably pre-aimed them. They probably aimed them, but they probably aimed them at places that if they fired, they'd get in trouble. So they go.
Yeah, it was probably a hospital or something. No big deal.
Yeah, no.
Let the
the
Americans
hospital
do it.
would have been coming our way. That's what I thought, because Ukraine wasn't blowing up schools and hospitals. So we were, and the people, if we were firing on a position, I would say that you might be not long for the war if I'm there randomly, no training, and I blow you up, it wasn't going to be a good time for you anyway.
Yeah.
So
it seemed to me if Larry David had written this script, Ukraine would lose the war by one drone. One drone would cost Ukraine.
I didn't hit a Ukrainian drone, but I might have hit a couple of unwilling soldiers.
Yeah. Holy crap. Now, you obviously couldn't be filming this a lot, but you got enough footage out of this to make like a
it was like a kind of played like a 2-hour documentary, was split into two halves, and that wasn't even all the footage. But yeah, the interesting thing was when they saw what we had, there was people in the military scrutinizing the footage, or we got notes. Wow. Like, take that down. In fact, what I said about firing on the Russians, that's all bullshit. A guy with a big blurred face did that. It wasn't me. He took my clothes. But anyway, wow. they like, we'd have to remove tree lines and stuff because they can tell, computer, whatever, they can look at that and go, oh, that's where that was fired, and they'd blow up our cannon or whatever. So
fucking hey, yeah.
But yeah.
So now you were drinking there. Were you able to bring weed?
Yeah, that was a real bummer. Well, when we got to Poland, that was what immediately I was asking, can we get, I've never been in a war zone. I know I'm going to want to have at least a indica. But we did hook up and all, but the hookup was this guy, we called him Kid Rock, but he bring like little, like chewed gum size nugget of weed, and there was two of us. The camera guy smoked, and it's like, oh, this'll last for a minute, and then he takes it and he puts it in with tobacco and makes a joint, and it's like, now you just fucking ruined it. But yeah, there was very little weed, and maybe in a war zone you want to keep your head about you.
I don't know. Vietnam was full of weed.
The
guys were smoking. Yeah.
We lost Vietnam.
Did we lose that war?
Right. Yeah.
Not really.
WW2 we won.
We lost Vietnam. You know how we lost Vietnam? We claimed we won. And we have to.
Well, not by the measure that they. That's a whole other thing. But they changed the way we measure winning or losing. They were going by body count. But if you go by body count, I think we killed 50 million people to like 400,000 on the other side. So I think if you go by that measure, we won that war usually.
Yeah, but war usually isn't about body counts. It's about achieving objectives.
In that war, it was all about body counts. That was the main objective. Was body count. Anyway, enough about
it. Was about dominoes. I remember the newspaper headlines. The whole thing was about dominoes, okay? Right. And our best domino players versus their best domino players, and we lost.
Yeah. So now, with the government get involved, like even before you go, did you have to talk to the State Department about going and all?
I'm not sure. We wanted to meet Zelensky, and I imagine if that had any wheels at all, we would have had to go through something. But no, we kind of. It was probably better that we were there unannounced because Doug, I'm not a target. They go, issues with Andy guy. It's like, let him go. It's not even, but they blow up or capture Doug Stanhope. Now you got something there.
Yeah, his mom's ashes.
This is the goal in life.
Yeah, they got something. His mom's ashes.
Yeah. That's Doug's
This
mother
should
wasn't
be
a
a
fan
goal
of
in
the.
life.
What's that?
That should be like a goal in life or inspiration. If to be somebody who they want to they want to take out in a war, somebody
Yeah.
who will matter.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Well, that
a
would
good
be
aspiration.
disheartening to some. If they caught Rogan, if the Russians caught Rogan, they'd just let him go. Oh, you go back and spread more propaganda, little man.
Right.
We love you.
Wouldn't they give him his commission check first?
Right. Well, he gets that through some sort of a subsidiary, probably, of his podcast.
Vinosky.
Because otherwise,
do you care?
why spread Russian talking points that Tucker Carlson's spreading or saying? Why are you on the same script as these fucking douchebags who are getting paid?
I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate your bringing up Rogan and all that stuff. But it seems to me, politically, now you're not politically correct. You say what's on your mind. You speak whatever your truth is. But you have two friends who are very, I should say, I know Erickson is got some need to be loyal to Rogan, right? And Stanhope.
Well, he works for Elon Musk, and his wife works for Rogan. But I don't know that Rogan. I don't know, man. When I saw that clip of Trump and him sitting there, and then Rogan looks at his ear, and he goes, "Oh, where's the ear? Oh, you can't even see." And then that's it. To me, that's quite a story, because if that ear isn't injured, that means the whole thing was some sort of a fucking production. That means they murdered a dude and staged the whole fucking thing. And I'm 100%.
They murdered a dude, the guy who was the shooter and the fireman. So that's two dudes they murdered.
And when I was sitting here and I saw that, I had on the news or whatever, and then live, whatever, it was like, and I had the volume down and I watched it and it looked like nothing. And then when I find out what it is and you watch it, and it's like, this is my litmus test for people. If you watch that and you're not suspicious of it being false, you're a fucking idiot. You're so fucking dumb, and you need to fucking do your own research and dig yourself out of your fucking asshole cave, because that guy didn't get shot in the ear, and fucking Joe Rogan, Mr. Conspiracy, sat right by it and didn't say shit all about it. That's a fucking way over the top conspiracy to me. I sat on a plane behind. They said there's somebody joining the plane, and we have to wait. It was Evander Holyfield. He's got up there. He sat in first class. I'm 20 rows back.
Bring up his
20
ear.
fucking rows back, and the whole flight, I go to the bath. I'm checking out that fucking ear because I want to see what it looks like. Rogan sits right next to a guy who got shot in the ear, had no Band-Aid on the next day, and then put a Band-Aid on 3 days later. There's no scratch. It's like, fuck you fucking conspiracy shithead. That's the fucking, that's the fucking holy grail of conspiracies, and you ain't got shit to say about it. So there you go. I'm a little wound up.
No, good for you. It's surprising to me that a 78-year-old guy can have his ear grow back completely, but the same guy at 19 couldn't get bone spurs taken out.
Right. Well, take away the ear thing. If you just watch it, it's the staging of it is so fucking obvious. The whole crew, it's like they're posing for a picture, like the end of remember Police Academy, the end of the show Police Academy. Anyway, they would do a freeze up, like a sitcom, and then they would move subtly,
you're right.
That's what that looked like. It was like, wait, photo, okay, and then they proceed all at once. It's as though you're watching what should have been the rehearsal. My guess is that everybody else had gone through this many times, and Trump knew what was going to happen. But Trump, I don't need to do the rehearsal. I'll just show up. So that's why it was even more staged and clumsy looking, because Trump didn't go through. If they would have gone through rehearsal, it would have looked better. But it was just sloppy. Stop, freeze frame. Hey, no other shots are possible, everybody. That's crazy too, right? The shots go off, and then they're like, everybody seems like they're cool with being in the line of fire. Everybody. Yeah. So they were all fucking in on it, except the audience, maybe. I don't think the audience was in on it.
Totally. I feel like it was staged, but I think I think I've gotten a lot of pushback for saying that. Like, how could it be staged? They wouldn't. Yeah, whatever. I
Yeah,
was on a gig when it happened. I had my phone in my pocket, and these three guys started texting. This is how I knew it happened. I was on a gig, and my phone just started in my pocket, and it was these three guys talking about it. But you know what? I felt it like it was obviously staged.
Yeah, go back and look at the airplane hangar event where Trump was, and a balloon popped, and watch his reaction when the balloon pops. As you get older, I don't think you get more brave.
No.
I went skiing this weekend, and I can attest as you get older, you start worrying about shit more. So Trump 4 years ago, a balloon goes off and runs and almost shits his pants, probably, or did shit his pants. I understand he does that frequently. But many years later, a fucking pop and whoop, he does exactly what he's supposed. He fucking mans up, he waves to the crowd, pumps his fist, the blood streaking down that nobody's, was there blood on the stage? Was there, it's like, God damn it, man. This is what I fuck them. And, as far as liberal, conservative, those fucking assholes are bending reality right in front of our fucking eyes and telling us what to believe. This is what you believe. This is what happened. And I'm not doing it. The fucking reality jumped the shark, and I'm not doing it. Maybe I'm insane, but I'm not going along with, he did almost get shot. But
Andy, if it makes you feel any better, you can be insane and correct.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a lot of it. I think a lot of it. I used to wonder why, I'd see people babbling crazy shit. And then I said, you meet people that are really intelligent that spin out and shit. Sometimes I think you just get overloaded with shit, and you just lose it.
And the other thing is that why do you even have to feel bad for somebody that was shot? It doesn't make them a great person all of a sudden just because someone took a shot at them. They can still be a huge piece of shit.
Yeah, he's the same piece of shit. Before that Lee Harvey Rube got put on the mission. I just hope before I die that I know that's the truth again. That this was fake. They actually did this, and that it's like where's the the problem with the whistleblowers is all those people that were involved in that goofy fucking our town assassination production. Probably every one of those fucking people is well placed and got advancements, moved up. The guy, I believe this is, I don't know if the information's true. I don't know if any information's true, but that one dude who was prominently in the photo there, he's been given a sweet assignment. I think he's in charge of some shit now.
I think he's in charge of impregnating Melania.
Yeah, well, I don't think she wants to be impregnated. I think she just likes getting.
But you have to say there's a goal. Otherwise, they're just fucking.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Have you gotten a glance at this fucking kid, Baron? I mean, you talk about arrogant.
No, I said this a while back. I said, no fucking way. Well, no fucking way am I, gonna go along with this shit because that fucking guy ain't leaving the White House. And I said, you wait, they'll try to make that fucking Barron look like something because they're going to try to pass off the presidency to that fucking kid or the daughter, one of those two, but they ain't going anywhere. The only way the Trumps are leaving is in a fucking body bag or fucking being dragged out of there. And I'm not talking about in their 4 years, they'll extend that. They'll say, no, we got he's a dictator, and the only way dictators leave office is to be fucking dragged out. And that's what I predict is we're gonna the people of America that don't want to stand for it are gonna have to fucking get strong and rally and fucking do something because we're in it. It's fucking stupid. I
feel like somebody said the other day about they were talking about Trump and how the liberals calling him Hitler that was just a failed policy, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about policy. It's true. If it's true, you say it. You don't fucking hide it because you're worried about what it might cost you in an election. And I do think that at the end of the day, or the end of the line here, he's gonna meet the same end that Napoleon and Nero and Hitler and Mussolini and all these guys met. They all go the same way. It's always not a pretty ending, and I think that's what's gonna happen.
The problem with Trump, though, if he winds up in a bunker, we don't know which one of his golf courses it's going to be at.
Yeah. Well, I won't say it because it amounts to treason. But I definitely had some plans.
Oh, see, I remember Chad Shank saying at some point, back on Issues with Andy, he said, when I listen to the news, I feel like I need to do something about this, and
Right.
it's hard not to feel like, what can I fucking do?
Yeah. Do you think like John Wilkes Booth, like, really? I'm the guy who's got to do this shit? Really? I got acting gigs or whatever,
Right.
But
would be really cool if releasing all this JFK stuff. Now, this was a week ago. He said it should be declassified and released. It would be really cool to find out. Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald he was totally alone on this thing.
That would be something. Yeah, I watched recently something on the Zafruda. I always say it wrong, but it was
Zafruda.
It followed the chain of command custody of the film. They made 2 copies. Both copies went away. Both copies come back, and that's where we get that jerky fucking motion that throws the whole thing and everybody's theory off. It's like, why is this head jerking back and to the left? They removed little fragments of film before anybody else looked at it, and that's why watching that over and over just fucks with you because it's doctored.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I think the Kodak guys got a hold of it before the government did. Somehow.
Yeah, it went to Kodak, but then there were both went to different things, and both thought they had the only copy. I can't do it justice, but it's like it's like this. Go back to the Trump thing. It's like, man, that's fucking bullshit. What this Trump staging is so, and then well, they did it to Kennedy. And the staging looked better, but they had to they didn't count on somebody having a nice film of it right there. So imagine what Kennedy's assassination without that,
right?
Just pictures. Yeah. That's what I think they were hoping for.
Back in the day, you actually had to send your film away to get developed, and that was lost and changed. Now you don't have to do that, so people take video. They have it directly.
Can you imagine the scrambling to find people to go there? Okay, the films are going. I think they went out to out east, Pennsylvania or somewhere. They went out east, and then the scramble. It's like shit, because they took care of it in short order. By a couple days later, nobody will ever know. What it. I wish they would put it back together. Put those edits back in there, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to tell us who did it or whatever. Just give us a full edit so we can bounce our theories. Probably Woody Harrelson's old man had something to do with it and all that. But it's just
Ted Cruz's father and
that's why. I mean, I was so mad about that Trump thing. I'm telling you. I mean, it interfered with just let it go, man, or whatever. But then after watching that, because I was mad that they were fucking with us, our reality. And then it's like, wait, they've been fucking with our reality the whole time, so it's a little less outrageous.
Yeah, for quite some time. I mean, I wish it was not Karl Rove, but it was one of Karl Rove's acolytes back during Bush 2, when he was running for office. And they said something about, they asked him, that he was being interviewed, and they asked him about reality. And he goes, no, we create reality.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought I had a firm grip on it, but I only have a firm grip on the reality they wanted me to have.
Speaking of that, have you microdosed at all in the last?
No, but I'm going to start again. I mean, I've had to lay off of some of that shit for a bit because I'm here. And I don't have anywhere to go. There's only so many times I can go down and trippy and talk to my wife about Jehovah, or whatever. It's like
I hear you, man.
But
I'm not to that extreme. My wife is a born again Christian who would want to save everybody, but Jehovah's is a whole other level of it. Does she not?
Yeah. Well, if you don't have to talk to Jehovah's Witnesses, all you got to do is tell them you've been disfellowshipped, and they're not allowed to talk to you.
Well, I mean, a few years ago, I thought maybe if I joined the church, fucked another lady at the church, then I'd get disassociated. But they
You
won't
have to be an elder to do that, though,
you have-
right?
well, but
Don't
you
you have
have
to be
to
an
be at
elder
the
to
church
fucking
to-
that lady?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go to the church, and I know I'm too inattentive to even fucking sit there. You know, it's like you got to act like you're listening and whatever.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, no, I did run across a big stash of LSD, or not, a little bit of LSD and a lot of mushrooms that I had. I was looking for something else, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about all these. So,
Holy fuck, LSD! I haven't. I didn't even think anybody did that anymore. It's just
I
like they've got
put
so
it
many
in.
other.
I got a little fishing kit, and I put drugs in. When people give me drugs, sometimes I don't use those drugs, so I'll put them in the fishing kit, and then I'll bring that, and then somebody will use those drugs eventually, and maybe I'll trade.
What a charm life! People just give me drugs.
Yeah,
Like
well, but you got to, you know, I mean, if they give you drugs, you can't just take them.
no,
So
I know.
that's why. I mean, LSD. I got, you know, last time I did LSD, I was in Vegas, and I was doing great
yeah, I
until I saw
remember.
an empty wheelchair, and then I lost it and got all emotional because my dad was in a wheel, whatever. But I was just like, you know, it flipped that quick, and I went from having a great time to being almost mentally unstable for a few hours. So it's like, I don't know how much I want to do a deep dive into my brain right now.
So, Andy, are you still receiving treatment for cancer? Are you in remission? What's the
I mean,
status?
I guess they haven't used that term, the R word.
Retarded?
Yeah. I don't want to jinx myself by saying it, but I've
Oh,
gone
okay.
through 2 years. That's usually where they declare that for whatever reason, my oncologist said we're going to do one more of the C scans in this short rotation.
Wait, whoa! You confused me for a second. You have ovaries?
No.
Is that what oncologists do?
Oncologist, no. Oncologist can't.
No. Did I say oncology?
No,
Anyway.
You said it. You said it right. I heard it wrong.
Okay, yeah. I don't have a vagina, but I wouldn't mind, having access to one on occasion. But so I went through 2 years of chemo, or 2 years of whatever, the 1 and whatever year of chemo, and then they do the photos, and then that tells me. So I have another one coming up in 2 months, and then after that, I think I'll feel pretty good. Like, you know,
It's amazing.
but I keep waiting. You know, I'm not real optimistic about things, so it's like every time those scans come up, I assume the worst, and then so this one will be 3 months, and then it'll go 6 months, and so I don't really think about it till it comes time for a scan, and then I start going, oh, I fucking have it. My belly's been upset or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So so I'm on the right path, and I'm not quite in remission yet, though.
Years ago, I worked with a guy named Mark Lustgarten who at Cablevision, and he had pancreatic cancer. Now there's a foundation for this, but this was like the 1990s, and at that time, pancreatic cancer was a death sentence. Like there was no Whipple, and there was really little hope. Anybody who got it died. And then we were on Andy. We were watching Andy and Issues with Andy, and we heard you take a phone call from your doctor, and we could hear you talking to the doctor in the background. You're saying pancreatic. Yeah, I'm like, holy fuck, he's got pancreatic cancer, and I'm thinking, this is it. I mean, he's a goner. That's what. Nobody survives that.
That's why I should have asked more in my GoFundMe.
Yes, my sister had pancreatic cancer, and by the time they found out about it, they gave her 3 months to live. And so my sister starts bargaining with the doctor. She goes, "Well, what if I stop smoking cigarettes?" And he goes, "Good." He goes, "Yeah." He's like,
That's not how you did. That's not how you negotiate. You say, "What if I don't pay my bill in 3 months?"
Here's how I negotiated it when I was sitting there with the surgeon, and he gave me the bad news, and my daughter's in there with me, and I went into like kind of a dad mode where I was like, hey, it's like, don't say shitty stuff about me in front of my kid. And then he said, what we're going to do is put a stent in, and then he went on, and I go, and then my thing was, what if we got a really good stent? could I just live with that in there? Maybe, you know, hose it out every once in a while. And yeah, the bad news was no, this is just going to allow you to eat before you die, and you know, and all that. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, after that, I was like, oh fuck, I'm going to die from this. And it was real heavy, you know, my daughter driving me back, and it's like her wedding was coming up, and I just said, I'm not going to make it to your wedding. I'm going to fucking die. And everything I did. I mean, it seemed like that's what, and then I called up Stanhope, and because I didn't know who to, you know, but I wanted to lighten the mood in the car, and I called up Doug, and I go, hey Doug, guess who's got cancer? Ha ha, I do. You don't, you fucker, or whatever. And then hung. It was like, you know, horrifying. Then I called Provenza. You'll like this, dog. I called Provenza, and I told him, and he answered, and he goes, I go, dude, I got pancreatic cancer, and I think I'm going to die pretty quick. And he goes, oh, fuck, dude. Oh, man. And I go, I'm not telling you this as a friend. I'm telling you this as a filmmaker. You've got a pretty good ending to your story.
Is that why he hasn't released it? Because he's waiting for the actual ending?
Well, you had a screening, right? That I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, as a filmmaker in my own head, I was like, no, I've got the ending to the movie for us. I wrote it. I die.
Yeah.
Now
what's going on with the movie? Is it ever going to be released? I know you had.
I thought it was going to get burned up in the fires and just be done with, but escaped the fires. I saw a cut. He want, you know, for the first time ever, he wanted me to sit down and watch it, and then and I watched. Yeah, and there was just a few beats or whatever, that a few things that, you know, needed rework, and I haven't heard from him in about a year on it from that. But
wow,
or not.
Now the things that you wanted reworked, were there things that hurt his feelings, and that's why he hasn't finished it?
I mean, it's all me.
You don't have feelings.
It's 100% me. I mean, the whole thing is about me, which is you know, which is tough to sit and watch. And I felt like at the end of it, you know, it was pretty accurate. You know, if it looked like I was a very successful comedian and my life got interrupted by this or whatever, it would have rang false. I'm not a successful comedian. I've never been able to call and book myself. I go through long periods of time where I don't fucking care about people's fucking laughing or me being a success or any of that shit. So, I mean, but his movie portrays, you know, a guy who has some issues, some problems, and really a lot of what happened in my childhood have been hurdles. I won't say it made me not succeed or whatever, but I've had a lot more hurdles in my path than some, and I've had trouble dealing with them hurdles a lot of the time. So it's like, you know, if I could go back and do it all over, maybe I'd get healed at a younger age from my childhood bullshit.
Did the guy off himself? The guy, you know, the
petty? No, he's still alive. He's still. In fact, I'll do a shout out to him, Pat Spleen, my childhood molester. I'll be performing with Doug Stanhope in Key West this weekend. If you'd like to come out, we'll go car shopping. If Pat Spleen's listening, you know you promised me a car, so come out to the Key West shows. Get me that car, and we'll talk about the edits for the movie.
Wow. If I wasn't unsure if I was going to get another Social Security check, I'd probably come down to Key West.
Yeah, the problem is it's very expensive in Key West. So people who want to go to Florida to go there, look and see the rates of the rooms. But my friend Pat, my old friend Pat, he can drive up there from West Palm, down there from West Palm. And we, shit, man, all I wanted was him to follow through with the verbal contract. Really, I mean, I wanted him to say he was sorry, but also he promised me a car, and that was for the work I'd already done. The new modeling.
There's interest, right? Because the car, he promised you a car right when you were 17 or 18. That car was $3,000 then.
He owed you a Bentley.
If he bought a 1984 though, but I want a 2025, and maybe your dog's right. Maybe throw in a gas card or two. If you still have those videos of me, watch those videos and see what it's worth. Because my price on it would be $1 billion from my end of what I provided. That's what I would like from him. So I don't know. Hey, he's still alive. We're still a couple of dudes. We both probably still like Sizzler. I'll eat a Malibu chicken, and the gentleman likes he likes a steak and iced tea.
Somebody sent me a picture of a Sizzler from the road, a comedian who and I was like, wow, they still have Sizzlers. I didn't, because here in New York, they've like the dodo bird, they're extinct.
There's one here in town, and after it's the only time I went there was after getting molested. So it's kind of, or on the way to the movies or whatever, but it was it was our place. And I remember telling my mom, she'd ask what went on. I didn't tell her I got molested and did nude photos, but I went to Sizzler, and she goes, "Oh boy, that's nice."
Yeah.
So that's what I was up against.
No chance of getting Sizzler to kind of sponsor the release of the movie.
They're very
Sizzler, the place where pedos take their victims.
Yeah,
no, but
free kids meal.
Subway will do it. Subway
you know what takes the bad taste out of your mouth of being raped? Malibu chicken with a little bit of mustard sauce.
Free kids meals.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kids. Do you want a crying towel?
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, did anybody I know you mentioned like maybe you thought maybe the film got burned down. Anybody lose their homes during the West Coast fires recently?
Will Smith? No. But most of the folks, I mean, it makes sense. As most of the comics, they kind of live in the Hollywood. They're only people who've made it are up in the hills. And then I didn't know anybody in that Altadena. I didn't know a single person who's lived there. I was in LA for months and I never heard mention of that town.
Yeah.
But
I get it. Are you now? You mentioned you going out with Stanhope. How often are you working? I would love to.
I think
I know
kind
Doug
of
doesn't like
he's
Long
talked
Island,
about us
but I'd like to
co-headline. He said we're going to co-headline all this stuff, and I'm like, people aren't going to, I mean, Doug Stanhope and Andy Anderson, people are still going to market it towards Doug. But anyway, we have a whole year's worth of work lined up. We're going to Norway and Sweden, Australia coming up. We'll be in Australia for 2 weeks in February.
Wow.
So, I'm going to be doing I'm going to write. Both of us seem like we're writing a new act. Like I'm going to rely on stuff I've been doing here. I haven't done a lot of work, but I've had a few gigs, and I've got an idea of how I'll start. But I want to start building a new act based on what's going on in my head in the world at this moment. So, but we're going to start from scratch, which is kind of exciting. It's also terrifying to know that there's going to be shows where we're like, I don't have anything here, but we'll fill it up, I'm sure.
We seem to have lost Ron to a phone sex call or something. Lana, I guess, is going to be late. She said, I guess, who sent me this private
I sent
chat?
it. She reached out to me. She said she's going to be about 10:30.
Right. Have you ever met Lana Siebel?
No.
She's from Ukraine.
Yeah.
But she lived in Brooklyn for most of her life.
Mm-hmm.
Came here
I'll tell you this.
It's
funny. Doug said there's two types of women in Ukraine. There's Nadias and Ludmilla. But that's seemed very true. Like you're young, beautiful, fashionable, and then you live in some sort of a fucking war zone or whatever it shows on your face or whatever. But
wow, yeah.
But what was really inspired me about that is it's like the living in the face of war is what it's like. There's people around going about their daily business. Something gets blown up, they're out there, they sweep it up, they repair the glass and everything, and it's like, wow. That's what Americans talking about civil wars. Like, you got no fucking idea what it's like when bombs start being fucking launched. And it isn't just cannons anymore. It could be that little drone that the real estate agent has going, oh, look, wave to the drone. Boom. I mean, it's like if America got just a little taste of that, we'd be full of Ludmillas. Most of
what we know about war comes from movies because
and you have to you kind of have to live in trauma. I didn't see a lot of shit, but you kind of you're a little, on edge and nervous, and then you can get. I got kind of traumatized by just seeing what went on and envisioning and thinking about people in rubble and shit. I saw a cat we went to a place that had been blown up, and there was a kitten up there, and it looked like a kitten I needed. I mean, it was like, holy, and then it's like, it starts triggering in my brain this helplessness. It's like, oh shit, this is just one cat here. And it's like, if I was in Ukraine, I'd have a fucking van and a UN type helmet, and I'd go around rescuing kittens and killing Russians if need be. But it's overwhelming. It's what puts people mentally unhinged. It's like seeing that much helplessness, and then if you can't get out of some sort of a rotation in your head, it starts to be overwhelming. And that was just one kitten.
I went through a period where I was very close with a bunch of guys who used to live in Israel, and they still have dual citizenship. They go back to Israel. And they were talking about bomb shelters in every building, and they would use those bomb shelters for like rehearsal studios for their bands and stuff. And I was like, holy fuck. You can't imagine living in a place where bombs could be falling any day.
Oh, here's go ahead. Yeah.
No, just what that might do to your psyche, and like you're walking around and always on like, nervous about
we were at this.
We lived in Baltimore. We had bomb shelters and air raids every day at 1 o'clock. But after a while, you hear the sirens, but you don't react.
Right.
Because we were in Baltimore. The only thing we were going to be threatened with was maybe some kind of venereal disease. Because there wasn't even any gun violence in Baltimore back then. The biggest cause of death among black men was still syphilis and diabetes, I think.
Sickle cell anemia.
We hadn't even invented that yet. No.
Well, we were like, as we were leaving Kharkiv, and this was where we were going to be out of there. We were with this comedian, and I guess at that point it was just me, Doug, and our host Vasil, and we're outside, me and Doug, and then we had Alex, our camera. Anyway, we were outside, and Vasil went to the bathroom, so we're outside waiting, and a siren goes off, and then we're waiting for our Uber or whatever, and then a bomb goes off. Vasil comes out, and he can they have an app, so they're like, oh, there's a couple of drones in the area, or there's this going on, but we could see a flash from a bomb. The power goes off. Our Uber driver pulls up. We get in, and then that's when we see the flash and the lights go out. And then that guy stepped on it and drove like, unlike the security on the Trump assassination attempt, this guy reacted like a real situation was going on. And we're driving through, cutting through shit. And then we get to the train station. We get out, and we're, there's people they're all, brisk pace, but not panicked. That's the first bomb I saw go off besides the ones we fired. And so we're walking towards the train station, and a guy stops Vasil, which I was with him several times. People would stop and want to do a picture with him because he was famous. So we're in fear of our lives heading to the train station, and a guy stops him for a photo. I was like, it was so surreal. It was like, we're like fucking last train out of Ukraine, and this guy's like, hey, could I get a picture for my Instagram? But yeah, the train ride was, all that shit. It's just like, we did a all night train or whatever. And it's like, it's something you have to experience to really, to get it. And it's like fucking train that could be blown up.
The line
it's more like midnight from Georgia.
The quote was, that's the first bomb I saw, other than the ones that we set off. I like that. That's a good line. Other than the ones that we set off. Now, did you get consulted on this whole comedy tour, like where you want to go or any?
We just talked to one guy, and he set it up. He's the one who called the troops, and I don't know if they were on a day off or whatever, but yeah, we had 4 troops who've been, front line and been into the shit for many years, and still fucking fun guys to hang out with, a little intense when shit's going on, which is what you want, But
Yeah, I
so this
saw
is
a clip where it
so we
looked like
went.
you were performing in a bunker or something like that.
We didn't really. I'd say we only performed actual gig in Kiev, which is miles removed from the war zone, but they still get bombed all the time.
I said they were still getting bombed, so you were still
Yeah, they get bombed.
Yeah.
So I guess it's directly in the war zone, but it just feels different than when you're up at the front in Donbass region, and then Kharkiv. Those both we were in the mix in both of those situations,
Yeah.
But when we went from the Donbass region to Kharkiv, and I don't know how far, it seemed like, a 3-day journey done in 10 minutes, really. But the guy who drove us there had to drive back, and on his way back, the whole area, he said, was on fire. So we just missed getting blitzed with bombs by about an hour.
Holy fuck! I can't again. It just doesn't seem like performing is. I don't know how I would ever do it in a war zone. It's tough enough for me in regular
and
society.
I know, I mean, on this side of the trip, and I know my daughter was right. I was in danger, but it's hard. I don't want to bring it up with her, but if she gets to my age and she's gone through something like I went through, life and death just feels different. And a lot of people would look at that trip as like, holy shit, I put myself in risk and danger. I didn't really even view it that way. I just went there. Without hesitation. Do you want to go to the front? Fuck yes, I do. I didn't want to get blown up or see anybody get blown up or anything, but I'm just ready for some fucking movement. Now,
is there anything that because you've already gone through cancer, which is also in itself life altering, but were there perceptions that you had before you went to Ukraine that once you got back from Ukraine, you had like I don't want to say an epiphany, but just something that is just
I didn't
changed
think
your
so.
core?
I mean, I didn't think so after I left there or whatever, because it's just so much to take in,
Right.
But it's had a huge effect. I mean, I think before that trip, I tended to be a little more complacent in things or whatever. It's like, and being complacent in this country right now is to be guilty of. I'm not gonna sit back while all of it goes. At some point, I guess it's hard to really explain, but I mean, you don't drive through hundreds of miles of bombed out buildings and see people, old ladies riding bikes here and there or what. It just go, wow, there's still people living in this shit, and they're still currently bombing it. They're still, and I don't know if any of the Roganettes can tell me exactly why is Russia justified in anything that they're doing there.
Right.
I'm not going to say that, oh, well, Russia, it's like, it's total bullshit. If we started bombing Mexico, we could say, well, it's because of this, this, and this, and make it okay. But at the end of the day, it's just fucking one set of people bombing, maiming, and killing others for whatever perceived reason that they want to throw out there. And it's fucking wrong. It's always been wrong.
Yeah, well, it's definitely about resources. It's about natural resources and all that kind of stuff. And it's about, at the end of the day,
propaganda and a dictator. I mean, it's the same situation America's in. We got a dictator. We don't know what reality is going to be anymore because they fucking shutting it all down on us now. Even if it was fake reality, we're getting a fucking watered down fucking version of that. And we're in the same situation that Russia has been in. And if we play it out like Russia, we'll be supportive of a bomb in Mexico because we're afraid they're going to come over here and do some shit,
Yeah.
Well, the problem is if they don't come over here and do some shit ain't going to get done in price. And by shit, I mean work. If they don't come over here and do shit, then shit's not going to get done. So vegetables are going to be rotting, fruit's not going to get picked, meat's not going to get cut.
Yeah, it's a wild time to be in this country. It's never been more fucking unhinged and weird. And I mean, it could be in 5 months we're at war with our allies, our traditional allies.
Yeah, you know what we talk about, and Ron has brought this up where a lot, where it seems a lot of comedians, and I'm just wondering your perspective on this, are taking a harder right turn. Where, and it hasn't cost you any relationships like in the business, but I've seen a lot of comedians who were just like never taking a political side, now all of a sudden becoming hardcore Trumpers, or just at least pretending that for the grift or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the case? A lot of
Well,
comedians.
I'll tell you this, and maybe it's just my own personal. I can't stand the fucking guy. He's fucking gross, and I've always thought that since the first time I saw him fucking babbling about the kids in Central Park on Larry King. I'm talking about Trump, and I'll tell you what: if we fucking did issues with Andy and that fucking shitbag was there, I wouldn't have been going, "Oh, dude, that's fucking hilarious." Oh, all right, dude, or. You know, the Theo Vaughns and the Joe Rogans and the Tony Hinchcliffes, they're fucking making bank and shit. They're fucking making stupid money. And it's they can go full fucking Nazi. I don't, it doesn't affect me. I don't, but I'm not going to go, I'm not going to start writing bits with a slant towards, being more accepted by Trumpies. Because quite honestly, if you're not making fun of the dumb shit, then, that's a lot of it, and to me, that is the dumbest shit that dumb shit gets.
I hate to kind of, because it sounds like I'm stirring the shit pot here, but has Erickson kind of been shy about saying anything about Musk since he's been working for Musk?
Well, I mean, I'd say he didn't want to, you don't want to shit where you work or whatever. Well, I did. I shit all the time on the company thing, but I mean, I feel like that it was something he didn't want to, he didn't want us to bring up as a topic, and we didn't. But it's also, I wouldn't say that's there's multiple reasons why issues had to close down, but we just had trouble with getting things scheduled for about a month. And then that led to, some other things. And now it's just, it just seemed like it's going to become work. And then there's going to be subjects we're got to steer clear of. And kind of the whole thing was, it was just like four dudes sitting down, blathering about stuff and not getting political, not getting too much into that. And it also seems like we almost made it to 200 episodes, and that it sort of had run its course. If our schedules kept going, we would have made it to 200. But I don't think it had anything to do with Elon Musk or any of that, though. I mean,
don't you miss the days where you didn't have to think about anything political during the day? Like
I resent that I have to. I resent that I become. I sound like the conspiracy guys. I don't feel like unprecedented a situation where an unpopular douchebag who can't even fill up a fucking Arco arena, can't even fill up whatever shitty third base arena is in your town, and then half his crowd's walking out. But that guy had so much momentum, he won every swing state. Mathematically, that seems a little sketchy to me. But so there I am, sound conspiracy.
No, I just think of this. Just a few. I mean, to be honest, a few years ago, most people wouldn't even have known who a Secretary of Defense or a Secretary of Interior, Secretary of Trade. They wouldn't even know who they were, and let alone what they did. And now the people are aware of those kinds of things, kinda.
Yeah.
They didn't even know who their own senators and congressmen are. Now we know almost half the senators and congress people, and not.
But mainly though, it's become such a fucking shit circus, and I would have rather the lady won, and that we just move forward and start thinking. I don't know, man. I think we're gonna all be fucking dead in 20 years from climate, and it's like, man, at least humanity could go down swinging and try to do something to prevent that. But it just seems like we're going to keep pushing it back, and we got a guy in charge now who doesn't even understand like basic science, like nothing, like he doesn't understand basic anything.
Was it the point?
Here's the beautiful thing. He's the executive order he signed about us having to use the gender that we had at conception. Okay. Yeah. Well, we all start off as females.
Right.
We don't become males until, the gender is not a gender divide until like much later after the fertilization. So he's just trying to say that we're all women because that's what we all at conception.
Mm-hmm. Well, everything's so stupid.
He just wants to grab us all by the pussy.
Yeah, it's like everything is just designed. I mean, he's a master, and I don't think he's because he's smart, but he's just a master of fucking. It's like Dom Draper. If you don't like the discussion, change the subject or whatever, and that's what.
Yeah.
You just get inundated with all this dumb shit. It's why don't we just run a fucking hose from Oregon and put out the fires in California? It's basically what he's come up with, and then you get a whole plate of shit. And that's what it is. It's just a whole plate of shit, and you're out.
Oh, we lost Andy. Oh, what'd you get? A phone call? He's looking at his phone or a tablet or something.
Yeah, he got a phone call. It looks like
it's probably one of these guys in the chat room calling him. Are you with us? He's still here.
We lost his audio. If you can hear us, Andy, we lost your audio.
You might have to back out and come back in.
Maybe.
He's on an iPad.
Yeah, you got to take a break sometime from those webcam girls.
What do you mean? What's a webcam? Oh, you mean like a phone sex, a video sex phone?
No, they're webcams now, Matt.
Yeah.
All right. How much does that cost?
Yeah, hey, Matt, all you got to do is you put your nickel in your Nickelodeon, and you will see so many things.
That's what I was thinking. Nickel, I would thought, because a quarter maybe. No. And that how long?
With inflation, $1.
No, and Andy, you might have to might have to back out and come back in. The phone call may have jacked up your audio. I have the same issue on stream. I have the same issue on StreamYard when I'm on the iPad. If I get a phone call, it'll fuck my audio up.
Spacebar, man. What? Craig is the technician here. He said mute. What did he say? Mute and then spacebar. I don't know what that means. Mute and spacebar. I've been to a mute bar, and I've been to a bar that had a lot of space in it. Okay. He doesn't flop it out. Hope he doesn't flop it out. Flop it out. Oh, what do you mean? His cock? Flop out.
Flop it out.
Yeah. So we're almost to the point where we're expecting Lana anyway, right? Like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes. Well, 8 minutes.
Wait, you're making a sound that could be a yes or no. Yeah.
That's 8 minutes.
That's yes or no. Yeah.
8 minutes.
Well, I want to look at the time. He's checking 8 minutes.
All right. Yeah.
And that's assuming that she's actually on time.
Is that a yes or no? Yeah.
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 Yeah. See? Yeah. 8 minutes.
Yeah. Courageous cat. I'll get that. Yeah.
Listen to the black guy. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
You don't want me to play week-old news anyway, right? So I'm not going to play that.
Well, how else will I find out what's been going on if I don't listen to week-old news?
Well, when you don't, this is the thing. When you don't get your Social Security check, you'll know that it's,
Man, that would kill me.
I feel like people don't want to know the news until it's too late. Like they want to. I'll text you when the nuclear bomb is about to fall. Like you got 3 minutes.
I'll text you after it falls.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that? Oh.
Right. Oh, we got something. We got something. We got Andy back.
Incoming.
Incoming.
I got to heat my coffee, but go ahead. I'm gonna do it.
No, yeah. At least it wasn't a tragic call from a doctor. So
no, it was my brother, and I called him quick and said, "Everything okay?" Because my brother Larry's.
Your brother Larry, he's still with us because that was he's kind of a character in himself.
He was like my dog on the podcast. It's like everybody expected him to die at some point, but he's I wouldn't say he's doing great, but he's in his trailer alive.
Trailer in Oregon. He's local, right?
Yeah. Yep. He lives by one of the best golf courses in the world, which is hilarious because he lives in squalor about a mile away from Bandon Dunes.
Oh, Andy went to.
I'd like to. So he lives with this other guy who kind of looks like him. They both look like wizards.
Wow.
Old dudes all. And I'd like to get it because they wear these the overalls at the Bandon Dune, and then the caddies sit and wait for golfers to pick them up like hookers. And I'd love to get my brother Larry and his next door trailer guy in those coveralls to sit at that golf course and to see, it'd be hilarious to tape rich guys with those guys as caddies because neither of them know shit about anything. And they're both fucking incoherent drug fiends. Yeah. I'd pay to see it.
Why do I have a my God in the private chat? What happened? What was that in response to? I don't know. My God.
God.
What happened?
My God.
Oh.
I don't know. In the private chat.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got? Microwave coffee? I don't know.
I had it all set up with my computer, and then I couldn't get on there with my computer, so then I had to go iPad, and so get a little.
Have you
more
ever tried mushroom coffee? Now, this is not magic mushroom coffee, but
I will. I mean, it sounds like a good way to, because I feel like most drugs would be better just as a morning thing. Yeah. Like cocaine, you do cocaine in the morning. Imagine how the shit you could get done would be, but doing it at night, it just ruins everything.
I mean, if you cut your coffee with a couple lines, you might get a lot done during the day.
Yeah.
There was a comedian who said he was doing coke in the kitchen and he spilled it. He spilled his coke in his ant farm, and when he got up the next morning, his ants had redone his kitchen.
Wow. Is it just me, or does shiitake sound like a circle jerk of guys shitting on it?
It sounds like a bukkake.
Shiitake. It sounds like bukkake with shit, right? Yes, I am a retard.
It sounds so. What you're saying is it's like a bukkake, but instead of cum, it's shit.
Yeah, bukkake with shit. That's what shiitake mushrooms are.
That makes sense.
Oh, yeah, shiitake.
Grossed out, but yeah.
It would be interesting how psilocybin mushrooms would interact with coffee. I'm not sure that would be a good thing because it's kind of an upper anyway. Ron's got his shiitake going on right now.
With all this coffee being drank, somebody's gonna have to take a shiitake soon.
Well, yeah.
This is also an advertisement for my Airbnb.
Are you upstairs in the Airbnb?
I am, yeah. Hopefully I'm here all the time except when I'm gone, and then other people can rent it. But
do you stick around?
What's that?
Do you stick around and smell the sheets afterwards?
He does.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You have to.
It's mostly a gay guy thing, right? Maybe only.
No, I don't think. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I would want homosexual men here.
I thought I could have sworn I remember you talking about.
Well, I don't want. I mean, if the walls are thin here, I don't want anyone that is passionately fucks.
Yeah.
And the gays, if two gay men are up here and they're into it, it's going to be loud, and you might get a marital couple that can squeeze a load off without making any noise. But I don't really want them here either.
Well, you would need a couple that's used to having sex with kids in the house.
Yeah, I want a couple that has sex like me and my wife, separate rooms.
Now, is that separate rooms, but there's a hole in the wall, like a little glory hole, or is this?
No, it's just. I think we like each other better when we're not around each other.
So you just bump into each other.
Typical marriage.
Now, if you don't mind me prying a little bit, was she a Jehovah's when you first got married?
She got a brain disease and went through chemotherapy and was depressed at home, and I was on the road and knock. So it's all fairly 5-6 years ago.
I think more than that because I've been following you longer than that.
Yeah,
But it's just got to be. Yeah, a weird thing to come home from the road and all of a sudden your wife is gone completely
right,
Jehovah.
and then plus her brain was askew, but it's like I don't know if it's from the Ukraine or whatever, but I'm letting go with a lot. It's like I can be angry or resentful about dumb shit as much as anybody, and I just don't. I don't have the energy for it anymore. So if it makes her happy to worship and spend her time with that group or whatever, we don't have much to talk about, interaction about it or anything. And but I don't care. You saw it, dog, where I used to be very upset and call them the cult or whatever. It's like, I just if she's right, good for her. I hope she is right, honestly, because I don't have an idea on any of it. But I hope she's right for her sake. I don't think I want to go hang out with them up there or anywhere, Yeah. But,
well, it's funny because they really are. They really are a cult. They just changed and they used to be Russellites. They followed some guy named Russell, Russellites, and then they became Jehovah's Witnesses for rebranding purposes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But at the same time, I've been ranting about assassinating things or whatever. And she don't have a whole lot to, like if I just go, I'm going off to assassinate a raccoon or whatever. I'm going out to shoot a possum. She wouldn't, she doesn't have the skills or the personality of the old days where she'd say, no, you're not. So I guess, she ain't stopping me from pursuing my happiness either.
All right. That's cool.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for a cancer diagnosis before I flip into a real serious about wanting to do something. And I'm not talking about anybody we've heard of or know or anything.
Right.
Looks like Lana's not showing up.
Yeah, I would rather put a bullet or squeeze off a round to protect, what I want to protect if I got cancer. I mean, it makes it easier if you got a death sentence. So I'm just saying, I would definitely consider.
Oh,
ow!
They got him. They took him out in the middle.
Shit, that was quick.
Wow.
They move so fast.
No, it's funny. That Russian is like, I will find him and I will hunt him down.
Do I got
you back? Yeah, I thought the Secret Service took you out during that.
Yeah, I realize I don't want to pursue that. But yeah, I mean that's where lately I've just been like, why doesn't somebody do something about like you kind of held out hope that maybe fucking Biden would use presidential immunity to just set the ship right.
We all said the same thing.
Squeezes out of there.
Yeah, we all said the same thing, and it never happened.
Yeah, it's like it's like finding out pro wrestling is bullshit. It's like Biden got this fucking gift card of
president.
I'm gonna make Stephen cry. Don't say pro wrestling is
it's not real.
I knew it. No, he's gonna go through trauma now. So I made the mistake of sharing something on Facebook that was originally posted by James Inman. And then he goes, he sent me a DM. Hey, what happened, man? You're not mad at me anymore? I love I'm making up with old girlfriends. You love me again? I was like, I didn't even know I shared something of his. And now he's like, he wants to like reunite and make a new movie with me or something.
Well, he broke up with me and Doug, but but yeah. So yeah, you're speaking of that. Is I reposted it. And then I sometimes will repost it. I'll go over it, but I'm very familiar with the Katie John. Anyone who has done a little research on Trump, it's like that's horrifying what he did to that girl. Whether you believe some of it's not true, but I mean it's obviously, to me, it fits with everything I've heard about him, everything that's been said by women who he's assaulted. And so I reposted that, and then there's people I forget are on there. Well, I usually post it private, so but it's the first time I've had anything on Facebook with more than 5 comments in several years. And there's a couple of guys who just like fake news. That's bullshit. Oh yeah, if that was a real story. And so I kind of I called them yokels or fucking rubes, and insulted them. And then the guy makes a threat. You better be careful how you talk about people in your hometown. my hometown of Coquille is full of rubes. Those are the best people in town. They're just the stupid country bumpkins. I forgot to mention the white nationalist dipshits, the ones who, when BLM was having their protest around the country, they thought Coquille, with a population of like 4,000 idiots, was going to be attacked by BLM. So a bunch of dudes in town, and I've gone there wanting to buy like a shirt that says Coquille. You can't, there's just no fucking commerce. There's nothing to buy, everything, you know. But these fucking idiots got their machine guns and stood watch over a fucking junk store to fight BLM. It was so ridiculous that the New York Times wrote an article about the Coquille militia or whatever standing guard. And so Sean Sullivan, the guy who was insulted that I called people in Coquille rubes, there's also pedophiles, there's Jesus zealots, there's rubes. But if you've never moved from Coquille your whole life, you're a fucking hayseed rube fucking dumb shit. And you should keep your opinion to yourself, because you haven't even done enough reading to form an actual opinion that you should share. So fuck off, Sean, you lispy cunt. I know.
I think there's a lot of small towns that fit that description in America.
Yeah, you know what it was, and because I think, you know, the smart thinkers or whatever realize how fucking vulnerable all the country bumpkins are. So they've been getting Rush Limbaugh radio for, you know, all those years. Eventually, all the newspapers have been bought up by people that control it. So it's like less local news. You know, they basically weaponize stupid people. And country bumpkins, and so we got to deal with that, and that's a kind of a rift that I'm going to go to Coquille probably and do comedy, and I'm not going to be there's not going to be a lot of the locals who are like, thanks, dude, that makes us feel good, because it's nothing. I could go there and just go, you know. Anyway, so fuck Coquille. Coquille is a nice place to grow up, but if you don't leave the town, are you fucking your cousin? Are you reading Dr. Seuss still? What, you know, I'm glad the internet is available so they can bounce out of it, but holy shit, what a fucking dullard.
Looks like Lana's here, but she doesn't have a camera on. I can't, well, she's not there. I can't even add it to the screen. I don't know what happened. Can you guys add her? No, she's not. Is she there? Not there?
It looks like she's trying to be there, but it's not working.
It says device is not connected, so I don't have.
Oh my I was looking for my Ukraine jersey. I don't know what happened to it.
Lana, if you can hear us, if you're out there, if you can hear, your devices are not connected. So maybe, I don't know, go out and come back in, something.
I'm your teacher, and I find you attractive.
Where's all my Ukraine stuff?
Yeah,
I got a war patch from my my unit, artillery unit, and then
wow.
I bought a Ukraine soccer jersey while I was there to show support. I can't, I'd like to, I'll wear it in Coquille, and people will be like, oh yeah, well, we don't have money for our schools. Well, you didn't learn anything when you were here with books, you fucking moron.
Right. Fucking crazy. Yeah, you know, all that stuff about Ukraine, people think that Ukraine should have just surrendered. You know, they will.
We wouldn't. Nobody in their right mind would surrender if somebody's trying to take over their home.
Right.
I live in a home without any guns, and if 20 guys with guns attacked my home, I would still defend it with the spears and axes and swords that I have in my basement.
Why do you have spears?
I'm black. Why wouldn't I have spears?
Yeah, of course he does.
Tracks.
Spears, swords, axes.
Wait, you're black? How did you get on this show? We have a strict no blacks rule on this show.
Well, when I applied, I said I was African American.
Well, in person, he's definitely more black than he is red.
Yeah.
I don't have my kill kit in the car anymore, but mine had zip ties and a baseball bat, little aluminum. I was hoping to upgrade my kill kit as I, but I still just have an aluminum bat. It's going to be very, the first round of the Civil War is going to be, it's going to sound like Little League Baseball.
I think we're too pussy, too much of a.
You know what that reminds me of? Have you seen Inglorious Bastards?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude with the bat that just fucks every. Oh, was it Bear Jew or whatever?
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, we need something like that.
You know, back in the late 70s, I was in a local bar and I had this idea that I could get everybody in that bar to get a bunch of baseball bats and go take over like a banana republic. Just go down there and make me king of the country. We could go down there. Well,
I thought you were talking about the store.
I did too. I was like, what? That's so funny. What a weird way to say you're gay, man.
You really need a light blue shirt and tan pants that desperately?
Yeah, like you need some flip flops that badly that you're gonna go hijack the store.
It seems like they should do that on the South Park episode, is take over a banana republic.
Yeah, or a Gap. I think a Gap would be better. Speaking of Ukraine, a favorite Ukrainian import is here with us now. Good morning, Lana.
Morning. Good to see you guys. How are you?
Hello.
I'm so sorry. Today was I felt like I was immigrating to another country. It was quite a long morning. So thank you. I'm so sorry. I feel
Are you
awful.
familiar with Andy Andrus, who was just back there getting his coffee?
Oh shit.
I don't think we've met, but nice to meet you, Andy.
Yeah,
I heard the complaining and I felt right at home. So that was.
Andy did a comedy tour in Ukraine recently. He went there to go perform. I don't know if you call it a comedy tour. Well, it was going to be Doug doing a meet and greet was the extent of, but there is a pretty cool comedy room in Kyiv, underground, or it was a downstairs of a bar, but I'm
impressed. When did you? Because I didn't go. I left at 7 and never went back.
But we went to there, did a comedy gig, kind of a meet and greet, and then we went to the Doom Boss and then Kyiv. So we went to the front of the war, and you don't need to thank me, but we did fire on Russians. Artillery. So
I appreciate it. I really
you need me on that
female
wall.
Soldier or a male soldier. I don't want to be a soldier, so I appreciate you went there. I don't think I'm going back for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you have people there still?
I don't have anyone. So it was like when we came over when I was 7. It was like my passport. I think I mentioned this. Like my passport said Jew. Like we were less than citizens. Jews weren't. Throughout history, they've been kicked out. So like we were kicked out, and we're leaving anyways.
First time hearing about it. Jews had a problem throughout history.
I know, right? Jews were kicked out of a country. I mean, this doesn't happen.
Who would do such
Jews travel slow here.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking maybe it's just something with me, but no.
I mean, if
I take personal assault.
If Ukraine gets smashed down, that'll be one of the things they use to justify cutting them off and everything is their treatment of the Jews, because that's the big we expected kind of semi-Nazi dudes to be around us and all, but there's one guy who didn't have much, it was a long drive, and he brought up Bronny James, wanted to know what I thought about Bronny James in the NBA. And it's like, Jesus, man, what a fucking deep cut that is.
Yeah.
But tinge of racist conversation, I guess, to go.
Yeah.
And all I said was, fuck, man, it's a good marketing thing. The guy probably ain't that great of a player and doesn't deserve to be there, but people will go pay extra money to go see a father and son. So I think he was like
NBA basketball is popular in Ukraine. Go ahead.
I don't know. With this one guy, it was one of the few things I understood.
Most of the white NBA players are generally like Russian or Ukrainian or Latvian or they're from that part of the world generally, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lana just released her 30-minute special from Dry Bar.
Thanks, Jade.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
That's right. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I think the first Ukrainian Jewish female.
Well, this isn't your first Dry Bar special, right? Didn't you have one before this?
No, this is my first one. It just takes a while. They shot it March 1st, and it took about 10 months for the editing, and sometimes I hear it takes sometimes even longer. So I was happy it came out when it did.
I just want you to know I had some information for you because you referenced Jay-Z toward the very end of your set.
Yeah.
Okay. And just so you know, Jay-Z does stand for J stands for Jewish, and the Z stands for Zionist. He is, but he didn't want the flack, so he just cut, Jay-Z. That's it. But that's why he sounds like an old Jewish man in his rap songs. I just thought you would want to know that.
I appreciate it. Thanks for educating me. I know that's completely true. So I'll take that.
Yeah, you heard it on the internet. You know it's true.
Also, you tease your dad about having the like he doesn't speak English, but you do the same thing.
What, me?
Yeah, when you're talking here, you go like you're looking for a word, like you don't speak English.
No,
I'm just trying to waste time. I don't know what to say, so I just.
Oh, okay.
If he's 7 years old, I think she's got a better handle on English than people. Me,
but the one dude who talked the most to us in Ukraine, it was hard to understand. We called him Kid Rock, but he did a lot of like he was just being tortured by the word he couldn't come up with, and everything was so he had to say it and everything. And I'm sure if what he was saying was not nearly as important as his delivery of and you had to, it draws you in. You want to understand what he's saying, so he'll stop making those noises.
I had a friend of mine who was teaching me how to speak Ukrainian, and after months after about over a year, I remember one word because I haven't talked to him for like maybe 4 years, and I remember one word now, Musa, trash, which is also what they call
Musa,
police officers.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that word is trash, but it's also what they call police officers. It's like us calling cops pigs.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's weird because I don't speak Ukrainian. I speak Russian because it was still like I came in '89, and that's right before the revolution. I'm actually writing a book on it. I don't feel that old that I'm saying things like revolution and before the fall of communism. Feels weird to say that, but so
we'll be saying that here.
I'm sorry?
I said we'll be saying that here.
We'll be saying that here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right.
So
how's your Brooklyn?
It's very confusing what's going on now, and it's just what's going on in this country. It's a lot thrown at us all the time. So
I watched your special, and I have a question for you about it.
Oh, you watched it? Thank you.
I said I would.
Wow.
I said I would.
I really appreciate that.
So I have a question. When you do your characterizations of your parents, the voices that you do for them, is that how they really sound to you? Or is that how you just want them to sound to us?
They really do sound like that. They're even more like it's even more exaggerated, if you can believe it. I mean, here's the thing: if it wasn't for my parents' severe dysfunction, I don't think I'd be doing comedy. Okay. It still goes on to this day. Like I think GD, I think I'm writing like a second special. They're just like and it's just everyone around them. I love them, but they are it's everything is true. But it's a little bit more exaggerated and a little bit like more easier to swallow, because if I really did, people would be like horrified. Everyone's like, "Oh, I love your mom. She sounds so great." I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
To you, right?
You wouldn't be able to talk to her. Trust me.
When I met my father-in-law for the first time, he was French Canadian, so very thick Canadian accent. And my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, she says, my Pepe, that's what they called him. Pepe has a very thick accent. So this is going to sound crazy. She says he has a very thick accent, so he may not understand you. Okay, him having an accent doesn't have anything to do with him understanding me, but that's okay. And so she goes, so when you talk to him, we will have to translate for you. And I said, okay. And so I said, it's a pleasure. I said, what do you want me to call him? I said, what should I call your dad? Harold, Mr. Legacy? She just called him Harold. I said, Harold, it's a pleasure to meet you. And they do this. I'm going to back away from the microphone. They say, Pepe, he says it's a pleasure to meet you.
So your wife is Garrett Morris. You got married to Garrett Morris.
I told him, I said, that's not translating. You're just doing Garrett Morris's routine from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Andy, where did you get that picture of the otter from? That looks dead on like Matt.
To put Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like Matt taking a bath.
Yep, he's taking
So, my
washing
son,
his
he
tummy.
looked up on YouTube that otters apparently do terrible things to their children. They like rape and kill their. So
Are you talking
he
about
found that out when
Russians?
he was like 7 or 8. So
Are you
he's
talking
still
about Russians or
terrified of
otters?
otters. And he like at one point for a couple of years he would like go to sleep and he'd say good night. And he said, "Do you think an otter will kill, rape, incest me?" That was like our good
Wow.
night chant. Well, maybe that's just my home. So
Tell him about the corkscrew penis on ducks.
yes,
Wow.
I told him.
And
Some
pigs.
reason he's
Pigs
not
have a
freaked
corkscrew
out by
penis.
ducks. I don't think he believes their, their capacity. But otters, they're
Yeah,
so
they're
cute
so-
though.
they-
They're so cute. You wouldn't think it. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like my
you see
little
all these
cat.
videos. You see all these videos of people with otters, and I just want one because they make them look so cute. Now I know from living in Florida that otters are vicious killers.
Yeah.
But
strong, right? They can crack.
on YouTube and TikTok, they look so cute and cuddly.
They can rip open a clam. I've heard that.
Yeah. A bearded
Mad
clam
skills.
too.
We do an awful lot of talking about bears and otters on this program.
I love it. This is why I love coming on. I never know what we're gonna.
Well, I always thought
Yeah.
bears would be the real threat, but it sounds like otters are the ones you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
It depends on where you're at.
Well,
Yeah.
what about
You're in
Long
the-
Island?
Yeah,
Ace
I mean,
Hardware
if you're in the
parking
water,
lots.
yeah. But if you're in the water with otters, you're fucked. Land with bear, you've got a better chance, I think.
So Lana, you've done the thing with Dry Bar. Do people who do Dry Bar usually get to do a second special with them, or is it just like you get the one shot and then you move on and wait for the millions of dollars to roll in from the proceeds?
Yeah, hopefully, because you fly out to Utah. It's shot in Angel Studios, which is they're coming out with like legit films. But I was told that I did well and they'll like to have me back, so that's nice. I think it's something you have to be. So hopefully, I could start writing that second special because it has to be so clean that I really had to take a lot of time to work on it, rewrite things, write over. Because working that clean is definitely a challenge. Definitely.
I don't know. Some guys who I've talked to have done the dry bar thing. They can dance at the line of being like suggestively sexual or all this kind of stuff. There's an art form. It's like not like you have to be G. You could be PG, right?
Yeah, well, I was told maybe they were just trying to really, but I was told nothing sexual at all, not even hinting to it, and not even denigrating marriage, whatever that means.
Wow.
But didn't you say kicking the balls on your set? I think you said kicking the balls or something like that.
Oh yeah, I was actually really struggling with that. I said he's ball buster.
Ball buster. That's
I
it.
love that, Gigi. I'm so impressed. You remembered like this is amazing. Wow, guys, he's very organized. This is very appreciated.
I know a couple of Augie Smith did a dry bar, which is kind of, he's not somebody I would think could clean up, but he did one. And then this lady who's been a great comic for since I started, Susan Rice. She's an older woman, and she really did a great one. She's getting work all over the country based on her dry bar appearance, and she's hasn't changed. Well, she's changed her act or whatever over the years, but she's been true to what she does, and she's a kind of, I guess now, kind of a wacky grandma in the thing, but she's still just as funny, and dry bar kind of relaunched her possibilities now.
That's
All
great.
right.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you,
It's
though.
encouraging. Yeah. Thank you.
Because I had a Utah Mormon on my evening program recently, and in between, before and after the program, got to chat with her a little bit, and she wasn't the prude or the strict Mormon off camera that she was on camera, and that kind of confuses me. Did you get to talk to anybody out there, and are they like sincere about their?
What's weird is I don't think there was one Mormon in the audience. I think it's just people living in Utah, which was weird because even the host said he was mentioning that, like asking if there's any Mormons or trying to figure out, and there would really I think it's more, this is Provo, it's out more. I don't know why I know so much about Utah. But like I said, I used to compete as a competitive Latin dancer, and I would come out there. They'd have the national, like United States national dance competition. I'm actually.
Do you have to have a chaperone as a Mormon doing a dance competition to make sure the boy doesn't touch your pelvis?
You know, it was weird is you had all these guidelines, just like in the dry bar, you had guidelines of you had to like wear a certain like dress code. My dress had to be covered up to my knees. I had to send pictures. So this was back when I was like 16, 17. And a lot of the people you see on Dancing with the Stars were all like televised. We were like on channel 13 or one of the channels. And I was in the finals as well. And we were all covered up. And there was one girl I knew who was Mormon, and her dad, I think, was interested in me. So that was weird. But I had my walls up, my
That's
Eastern
probably with a
European walls
purpose.
up for a while now. Since I was a little kid, I was there's a lot
That's
of
probably
there's creeps
that's
out
probably
there.
why it's funded. Is a shopping for Mormon men to see other guys' daughters.
I
And
wish,
then,
you know what, if it was, that would be great if it was. It wasn't fun. It wasn't really funded, no. But it would be
Yeah.
great if something was funded. Yeah, it would be. That would be nice to get more money.
Now, do you get a complimentary set of the magic underwear for for going there and?
I got no underwear. I feel gypped now. My underwear didn't know.
You only
There's
get the
no
magic underwear if you're in the know.
Yeah, because they have the magic underwear, and I think it keeps you safe from harm and brings you good luck and everything.
They're supposed to be like they're supposed to make you like invulnerable, yeah, and they don't work.
Got it. I'm sure. Yeah, I've heard of those underwears for a while. Yeah, I don't think they work.
David Tell's looking pretty angry up there. He's the underwear spokesperson on this program, and he's looking like they're stealing.
Sorry, I overstepped my bounds. I'm sorry.
Is it now? Everybody in the audience is sober, completely sober when you're doing a dry-bar thing, right? They don't serve alcohol at all.
no, doubt that.
I know they were at the bar, so I don't
Yeah,
think
they serve
do.
drinks. They probably just don't.
I think they serve drinks. Yeah,
People who would go to a dry bar event are probably, people who don't want to go see something that I would present or whatever, where you would get shit faced. People go see that kind of show, they get shit faced and they're unruly. You got a different, audience for something like a dry bar, probably a little more sophisticated, a little less in the pints.
Yeah, it was a really nice. Didn't seem like that much of a difference. Yeah, and they like JD was saying, they like the Jay-Z, they like the little baby. That works. Funny is funny, right? Funny works everywhere. If it's a nice constructed joke and you're explaining it to people, they get it.
Yeah, I agree with funny is funny anywhere, but I definitely would prefer somebody who's a little loosened up before I start trying to entertain them. I don't ever like performing for people who are, especially the entire room being dead cold sober.
Oh, it's tough. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's also tough on the other side where if they're too, hammered.
Oh yeah, drunk.
So,
that's the problem. Definitely.
I mean, we didn't pick an easy profession, that's for sure. There's always going to be some crazy challenge. Yeah, it was definitely a lot to keep it that clean, and I don't think people were drunk at all. I'm not even sure if they were drinking. I know there was a bar, but I don't know if maybe it was just wine. I really have to find out. I was so trying to figure out so many other things going on at that point.
My wife and I were in the supermarket after the day after I had a show that I wasn't really exactly happy with, and so I was at the deli, and there's some guy had a baby with him, and I started talking with him, and then it turned into like a comedy routine where I should have written it down because it just had everybody laughing and stuff. And my wife was just standing there patiently waiting, and she waited for like 4 minutes while I go on this riff and have everybody laughing. And then I looked at my wife and I said, "I'm sorry, you're waiting so patiently." She goes, "I understand you needed that moment."
But see, I love that you do that. That's a true comedian, right? You go and you will make everybody laugh around. That's the job.
Well, in his case, it's generally make nobody laugh. If you've seen it,
that's why I said it was a night after I wasn't very happy, and so she let me do that. She says, because I told her, I says, I maybe I don't have it anymore, my wife. So she let me do that. She goes, "See, you're funny. You just had a night that you weren't happy with."
I get what you mean. Yeah, you're like, yeah. She was like, everybody else likes you. I might not like you anymore too much sometimes, but everybody else, they find you funny. I think that's.
And they were sober, but
so.
I think
that's cool.
So
and the neatest thing is, as the guy was walking away, he repeats one of the lines that I said and laughs again, chuckles again.
That's the best compliment.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah. And my wife
husband
just
actually is telling me to do that. I don't know if he wants me to just go and talk to other people more, but he's like, you got to go to the store, you got to go to the bank, you got to make. That's how you're gonna get better at crowd work. You're gonna make people laugh. I don't know if he just, again, like, I'm not sure what his
I'm surprised to hear you say
agenda is.
that's the best compliment, because I've pissed more comedians off by repeating some lines from their show. For me, I've learned not to ever do that again. It took several years to not do that, but I used to do it all the time, and they weren't happy with me. So the drive-by thing, is that available on all the streaming networks? How do people find it?
Yeah, so it's they have their app, Dry Bar Comedy Plus, and and Adam Carolla's on there as well, and a lot of other great comics. And like with my special, you can, I can give you the promo code, and it's a month free. And then it's on, they release clips on all the social media sites, and eventually, I have no idea when, they do release a full special on YouTube and Samsung TV. I just don't know. I think my special is doing well, so their interest is to, keep it on their app as long as possible, because they did pay me. They did have a makeup and hair and a studio and a whole team working behind it. So so they need to make money, but eventually it does come out. Yeah.
Nice.
But
now you said the whole thing.
It's really easy, actually. I don't know. Some of my family members are really great and like watching it and everything, and some are like, I don't know, they have this thing, like, it's really easy. You just like press a button and then you put in my name, where you just log in, and it's free, and it's really
well. It was difficult for me at first. I mean, because actually the first time I tried it, I got right away, and then they wanted like a $5.90. They wanted you do have to sign up for a month or a year subscription, but they say you can cancel anytime. But I did have your promo for a free, for a month. And then something happened. I didn't get to finish it. And when I went to try to get back in, it was like, it took me 20 minutes. The first time I got right in. The second time it took 20 minutes. And I was getting angry. And I said, no, I told Lana I was going to watch this, and damn it, I'm going to figure this out.
That means a lot to me. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. I'm sorry that's weird.
Welcome to boomers having problems with technology.
Some apps
is connecting your Bluetooth.
Also, some apps act differently on the phone as they do on a computer.
Yeah, I know my husband did it for my father-in-law. We're close. He really wanted to watch it. He loved it, which was like, he's very honest, so that was great. But yeah, he actually got on Instagram just to get to see more of my clips. So it's like, GD, that means so much to me that you went through all that trouble. But yeah, it's supposed to be simple, but maybe sometimes through your phone. I think
it depends on the device, because I know there was, when Matt sent invitations to us to get to be on the show, I had trouble on my computer, but my phone let me do it right away.
Right.
Well, I
this
can't
is
thank you
obviously
enough
operational era.
I talk about it in my. I talk about it in my set, but my dad said something along the lines of like, "Are they sending you a cassette tape?" I'm like, "No." Then he was like, "Maybe a disc or DVD." I'm like, "No, Dad." And then he was like, "Maybe in another lifetime."
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna. I'm like, "Are you like, this is your daughter?" Like, I don't think they're gonna ever figure it out. So I appreciate you going through all the trouble. I wish
all this ageism stuff. I want to bring up the fact that the show is called Age Appropriate. If you're looking for it.
Yeah, thank you.
Ron is a boomer bigot, but he's just stone's throw away from boomer.
Yeah.
It's not like he's a kid. He's not like a millennial.
Not with that gray beard.
Yeah, I'm the millennial in the group. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial too, but I'm an old millennial, and I get technology if like it's good for me and convenient, like I need it for myself. But if it's for somebody else, I get it. It's like it's a lot of trouble.
I'm a bison. Me and Dog are bicentennials. Right? We remember the party in '76.
Yeah. Yep. 50
That's
years
when America
ago.
was great. We all got red, white, and blue shit, and we were all on the same page. We were all celebrating the same shit. 20, 30 years later, it's not so much.
Yeah, it was like a year's preparation for a fireworks show. Everybody was just geared up for the bicentennial. Now,
back then we were all patriotic, and Bruce Jenner was a gold medalist in the men's competition. That's how much things have gotten weird.
Are you fishing in your living room? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, that was wow.
I got a cat, or my cat.
That's I used to play with my cat. I used to have a fishing rod, and I used to play with my cat like that.
Yeah, she likes. I'm getting to leave tomorrow, so I'm trying to get everything done. And playing with the cat is on my list.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. My cat figured out that the lure was attached. His toy was attached to the string, and so I threw it out. And instead of grabbing the toy, he jumped and bit the string off, and he bit the string so he could take the toy away.
Yeah, she gets. It's funny. She'll grab it and then drag it off like she's going to go kill it, and the line goes like It is really as close to fishing as I've come in a long time.
Now, do you take it outside and do it? Because I used to take mine outside and throw it over the tree branches so it would come down, and they'd have to do this.
She goes out there and murders shit, so she don't need this outside.
Yeah. Well, I had to take mine out because mine did the same thing. Mine murdered shit, and my wife kept saying, "You can't let it kill things, honey. It's a cat."
Well, mine's like Dexter. It's like I'll find a big rat outside, and it'll be ripped open, and part of its innards gone, and sometimes its head's off, and it's like, God damn, my little kitten that I love and so sweet is doing some fucking dark shit.
Yeah.
Mine used to bring stuff out and hang it and put it outside my wife's office window because she worked from home sometimes. And it's like, look what I got for you. And it's like, and she'd send me outside. She said, will you get the dead squirrel from under my window? Will you get the dead rabbit from under the window?
Little kitty Dahmer.
Yeah, it's fucking, I've always just, she'll come up and get, it's like, I don't even want to be in the room with a rat, let alone, have something cuddle my face that just ate part of it while, it's like, ugh, Jesus fucking Christ. But, it's a trade-off. I need the love. Rat breath or no rat breath.
I know. My wife will kiss the cat on the face, but I have to go through all kinds of sanitary motions before she does. Like, if I wake up, she's like, "I'm sorry, I can't kiss you. You just woke up." But the cat just wakes up. Like, where's my little kitty cat? My little.
And I've thought about this wave of I don't want to be an alarmist, but the bird flu, and if my cat has bird flu and rubbing on my face first thing in the morning and I die from bird flu, that's a good ticket out, I guess.
Well, my wife has a new relationship with chickens. Somebody in the neighborhood has chickens, and they come she feeds them, and they live on my front porch now, and they're all over the place. But I'm like, and there was a day when the dog scared the chickens away, and the chickens were gone for 24 hours, and she was heartbroken. But it's like, at some point, the neighbors are going to turn on you. If bird flu becomes like a real pandemic,
right?
The neighbors are going to want to kill all your chickens first. That's going to be and it's going to be heartbroken on that.
I want to get a firearm. My wild turkey situation here.
Yeah, I got them too.
If I got a firearm, that would be like, the perfect opportunity to break it in is murder all the turkeys and in honor of, if bird flu starts spreading, those guys are going to have to be sorted.
Here's a tip. Get a chicken.
I don't know if I could kill a turkey unless I'll just visualize them being Russians, and then I'll go.
Turkeys will run away from chickens, which is bizarre to me. Cats run away from chickens. Chickens are badasses, apparently.
Chickens are just little T-Rexes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how my people got to be so tough. We had to deal with the chickens. Matza didn't deal with the chickens. We did, and it toughened us up.
That's why you guys got so fast too.
Yeah, chasing the chickens.
You got so much facts today. I feel like I should have brought a notebook. There's so much to learn here.
A lot to learn for a Jewish lady.
Yeah, Jimmy the Greek had it right. Jimmy the Greek had it right. He just didn't have the right network to say it on.
Yeah.
Now,
Lana, let me bring it back to you for a second. Did you play an Aragona's show recently? I thought I saw an Aragona's poster with you. Does that ring a bell? Did you do an Aragona's comedy on Long Island? Did you do something?
Oh, feel so bad. I probably did.
Because I gotta know in advance if you're coming to Long Island so I can make plans to go see it. Because But if
No, I'd love to do a show with you too. Yeah, we gotta figure it out. But I love Long Island. My whole my brother and my sister-in-law, my nieces, they're all in Long Island. Yeah, so
Do they also suck at driving?
I'm sorry.
Do they suck at driving too?
No comment. Probably. Yeah. I feel like I don't know, Staten Island too. They're very aggressive. Like it's crazy. Maybe they're just I don't know trying to
I
get
thought
off
the
the
complaint
island.
was they weren't aggressive enough. On Friday, these guys were on Long Island. The three on top were on Long Island, and I thought the complaint was they weren't aggressive enough. Do I have that wrong?
No, they were awful. They were cutting me off left and right, and it was awful. They were so mean.
Yeah,
have any
Staten Island,
complaints.
you're just so mean. Anything with an island, maybe they're I don't know, something gets in. But I don't know.
They were
Brooklyn,
mean,
too.
and then I got stuck on the bridge, and I'm terrified of bridges over water, so that was terrifying.
Wow,
horrible.
I feel as comics too, we drive so much, like it's insane. I feel like I'm living in the car. It's
Yeah, so you're not
a lot
flying
of
a lot. You're staying pretty close to New York because you got kids, right? But you stay pretty close.
Yeah,
to
we'll
there.
start to do more of the flying coming up. Actually, I got some flying dates, but right now, yeah, it's a lot of because it's I'm getting to do more headlining, so I'm working out that muscle. But now I feel like now it's time to start flying out more. But it's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of traveling, which is great. It's great, but
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's intense.
Congratulations on doing more headlining. I think that's good for you. It's good to see somebody whose career is moving in the right direction.
Hey, man.
I appreciate it, but it's a lot of fighting with yourself every day. It's not. You really gotta fight the good fight, and
Right.
you can't let the negative voices win because they're intense.
Yeah, somebody.
The negative voices are the only ones that'll talk to me.
Well,
somebody in a
but I'm
comedy
like,
group.
I'd rather have no one talk to me than those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody in a comedy group on Facebook posted, "How do you know who the headliner, who opener and feature?" I was like, "Well, come on."
If you see him at
if you're
the outlet
asking that
mall,
question like this is your first day at an open mic, if you're asking that question like, how do you tell who's the? I mean, come on.
If you see him at an outlet mall, the headliner will be the one buying stuff. The middle will be the person that drove, and then the person who's not getting anything will be your opener.
Yeah, I said basically the headliner is the one people are paying to come see the name, and he's the guy who gets a fat check of the fat envelope at the end of the night. The feature is getting $125 and being happy to get it, and the opener is basically telling people I killed, and lucky to get gas money. And that's the way.
Yeah. See, the headliner now, I'm hoping they pay more and more, but also as a female, so that's why I just want to get as strong as possible, so that paycheck goes up a little bit.
Yeah. It's interesting.
They should be paying a fat check, but they don't. But that's what it is.
It's a fat check, but it's a thin number.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They print it on cardstock, but it's $25. So
yep, it's just enough to make your ride worth the gas and
Yeah. I think the Secret Service got Andy again. We may get him back, we may not. It's neither here nor there. So now, are you? Would you like to do more traveling? I mean, jet travel rather than car travel.
I'll take both. I'll take if it's a good club and a good gig, and I just keep getting better and better. I'll take it all.
Very cool.
Take it all. Yeah, I'm not gonna say no. But
yeah, I love the experience of going to a new town. I mean, this is why I became a performer in my youth. Anyway, it wasn't about it was about a lot of things, but a big part of it was just seeing new places, experiencing different cultures and how they
I'm with you. I get so excited. Just the places that nobody would ever go, and just research. And now with Google, you can just research, and so sometimes when I go with my husband and son, I get so excited. They're like, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like there's absolutely nothing. But I'm like, this is like a new tree or a new path, and then they get excited, or New Delhi. Look at this. They don't have this in New York. This kind of jelly. So I get very excited by a new place myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Andy's back.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of doing all this is visiting new places. Like, when I went to Long Island, I got to stay in Pennsylvania and got to, look around a little bit. Like, yeah, it's boring shit, but it's new shit. It's new boring shit.
It's new boring shit. Exactly. And also I did a show in Massachusetts, and it was really cool because there was I was headlining it, and there was a flyer of me, and it was everywhere. So my son started taking pictures. It was all over town. So I'm like, I'm famous in Massachusetts, in North Adams. So it was cute. Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Lana, when you travel, because you have to eat, do you look for places that are chains because you know the food, or do you look for like mom and pop places where it's like, oh, this is going to have like a little local flair to it? Because
we like all the weirder the better. The more local, the better. Although when we went to Canada, they have like it's like a chain, but it's so good. Harvey's, I think it's called.
Tim Hortons?
No, not Tim Hortons. I think it's like a burger place, but it's
Hardee's?
really like
Hardee's?
Yes, yeah, that's it. Hardy, yeah. And it was like really so that was the only exception. But yeah, I to answer your I like the really weird in the middle of nowhere, just about to close down. Yeah.
Now, have you ever been someplace they go like, what you got to try here? Like, if you talk to Matt about Long Island, like, you got to have the egg sandwich. So like, you ever go someplace to say to you, you got to have this, and you have it, and it's like, oh my God, no, I don't want to have this ever.
Your Honor, that's not what I said. I didn't say you have to have the egg sandwich. I said there is something about the people here that they are really proud of their egg sandwiches. It's like a Long Island thing. Yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese or sausage, egg, and cheese, ham, egg, and cheese. It's like, it's a thing here, but I never said you have to try it.
Okay, so is there something you've been someplace
they say going into a trap? I'm sorry, I'm going to stay out of this one.
Yeah,
no, I was trying to use him as an example. I was trying to make him feel useful, but I was wrong. So
this
you
really
go there.
Feels like my childhood. My mother setting my dad into a trap and me getting involved in whatever.
So they say you got to try this, and you try it, and you go like, oh my God, no, never again.
Wow.
Have you done that?
Yes, that has happened too. Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you.
What was the food that you tried?
Andy got so upset. It's really got him upset.
No, it's the Secret Service that keeps taking him out. Or trying to take him out.
The cat knocked it down.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what you get for teasing him with that, I don't know, thing on the
fishing rod, fishing poles. This is cat fishing.
Yeah. So now, have your kids gone with you on the road? Have you ever taken the kids on the road?
Just got the one, but I know I complain like I have a few. Yeah, my son went on the road with me, and he's 12 now, and he's been in a ton of like plays and musicals, and he did so well that he was asked by the director to do like another outside of his school and community theater. So he's really he's seeing how difficult it is and how hard I work, and now he's trying to do the acting, the singing. He's playing the piano. He's writing plays already. So he knows he's gonna have to do a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
And I headlined at Catch a Rising Star, and he told a joke. It was filthy. It was great. One of the jokes he made up himself. And he was very sweet and respectful. And then the next night I asked him to do it again. Everybody loved him. They were really coming up to him, and he's good at schmoozing. He's a great kid. He's my buddy. Yeah.
Well, we keep losing Andy, and that's fine. This is Andy's podcast is called Issues with Andy, and that's exactly the reason why, because he always has technical issues and things like that. So yeah, you know what? Congratulations on your career growing and going in the right direction, because
Thank you.
we don't see enough of that, and we're really happy for you. And
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's you think this thing's gonna happen, and then you're gonna get blown up, and everyone's gonna be calling, but it's not how it works. So I'm prepared. I thought then the dry bar's gonna come out, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, but it's a slow climb all the time. Yeah.
Do you do other podcasts? Because I haven't seen you like guesting on other podcasts. I don't. Is it a part of your? I think a lot of comedians feel like they have to be on podcasts now in order to sustain their career, have that visibility. I don't see you like doing other people's shows. Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing because I did a lot of them during the pandemic. And I'm gonna start to do a little bit more. But I actually this sounds. I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but been just busy performing all the time, and
good.
not even, yeah. So not. But I should start doing them again some more. But I do like coming on to you guys. That sounded weird, coming on to you guys. I like coming on this podcast and talking to you guys. It's a nice vibe. But a lot of podcasts, I feel
Matt,
like
no.
sometimes it's not very productive. And
well, that was the first time we saw Ron smile all morning. So,
you must be the Monopoly guy.
Hey.
Thanks for the free parking.
But yeah, but I see. I don't know whether it's just like can't get enough attention or any of that kind of stuff. But I see so many of these comedians who are working constantly, still doing podcasts. It feels like they don't get enough, and I feel like sometimes it's overexposing. You hear all the material on a podcast, and now you go to the show, you're just going to hear the same stuff that you heard in the morning on or whenever the podcast was.
Well, one of my favorite narratives of comics is when some of these higher ups in the industry, comic wise, they get on podcasts and they talk, oh yeah, things are so much different and better now, because before you'd have to make the rounds to all these late night shows, but they're doing the same thing on podcasts, except I think it's even worse now, because if you listen, they're hitting the same talking points on just about every podcast they're on. And it's just horrible, because now instead of a 10-minute segment, now you have a 60-minute segment every show you go on.
Yeah. I just responded to Andy. His device died, so we won't be back. But good to see him again.
Well, better his device than him. I mean, the cancer.
Well, I feel like he's invincible now. I mean, if you can beat pancreatic cancer, you can go to a war zone and be on the front lines. You got to feel
I'm
like
impressed he did that. Wow.
Yeah.
Where's Andy from? I wanted to ask him, but he was.
Is he in California?
No,
he's in California, right? He's talking about his neighbors.
No, he's in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
Coquille, Oregon. That's where he was talking about, his hometown. Yeah. So you know what? Yeah, I would feel invincible if I beat pancreatic cancer. First of all, again, back to the idea that used to be the unbeatable cancer. That was the one that was always a death sentence. And we found out about that accidentally on his podcast, while he had to take a phone call. The other guys were still talking, but you could hear Andy in the background talking to his doctor. He said, "Cancer, yeah." Pancreas, and like all of a sudden all the comedy just dropped out of the room. It's like and waiting for him to come back, and then he played it off like it's no big deal. I got a call from my doctor, and then it was like wow. And then we had him while he was getting the operation. We had him on the program.
Oh, wow.
Pot-a-thon for him, a fundraiser.
Oh my gosh, I have no excuse. He was literally on the operating table.
Yeah, well, we got him just after he got off the operating table.
Wow.
And he was like throwing up, they gave him a barf bag. And I was like, "You want us to cut away?" He's like, No, it's good for the fundraiser.
Oh,
wow. Wait till I have to take a shit in this bag.
Right. Good stuff.
But I'm really happy you guys are, doing this, and I think again we need your voices and your podcast, because it's too much going on right now. So
yeah,
we need a lot of distraction for sure.
So now, any interest at all in doing? Because I feel like it's overdone at this point, but comedians feel like they have to have their own. Are
Yeah, I was gonna actually do one with my son because he's actually even more cultured than I am. He goes out to plays with his grandpa. They'll do a lot of Broadway together, and I was gonna do maybe like different viral food spots and different movies, plays that we were gonna review. So we're gonna stay kind of maybe do like a 25 to 30 minute where we just do these recommendations.
All right. Pardon me for if I'm crossing any lines here. Is there a Brooklyn Queens kind of like rivalry or something? Any of that kind of stuff?
There was like with like the rappers, right, in the 90s. Not so much anymore. My only beef towards Queens is that Trump came out of there, but that's the only.
Are you familiar with Katie Hannigan and Sarah Telemash? They're Astoria-based lady comedians. They have
yeah. I like Astoria. Yeah,
they have a podcast called Lady Journey.
That's
and
right.
they were at Grove 34 last night. Grove 34 in Astoria is doing it's a small intimate comedy club.
That's a nice place, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that Grove 34 looks like it's really taking off. I know Norman is there.
I do shows in QED, and I started to really like Queens because Brooklyn now I grew up here since I was 7, but it's becoming so expensive, and a lot of people who are probably living in one room, 10 people, and so then sometimes you go out to the shows and people are not very happy to be living in New York. And then in Queens, I still feel like people are from here like me, so I feel very close to that.
Yeah. I don't want to keep you forever, but I got to ask this because you came to Brooklyn in '89. It was still Brooklyn before it was an art. It was an arts mecca, and now all the people from show business have gone there. Have you noticed a change in the culture?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. I don't know how to say it, not sustainable. People are maybe hopeful for the first year or two, and then after a couple of years they become very sour and bitter, and you could feel it, and not the kindest people. And they we all went through a lot to get to where we are, so they might want things easier, but they just make, like, I don't know, maybe for an audience they don't make the nicest audience. And
I hear you, and this is my fear for Astoria, because Astoria is starting to become like a comedy. You can walk down the street and see comedy clubs. Not that they're well advertised; they're small clubs, but there's comedy going on in all these places. And I'm like, you know what? You can oversaturate it and kill a buzzing scene with just too many people just gravitating towards the area. It'll be like Austin. Austin is kind of like got that now. It's overdone.
Yeah, it's overdone. I agree with you. It's needed, but it's overdone. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's gonna be a weird time for me personally. I'm trying to figure out, because I'm from Brooklyn. I'm an immigrant, but I come on stage and I feel like in Brooklyn, it's a lot of people look at me and they're like, ugh, this white woman. And then I feel like I go to like the more conservative Pennsylvania, Florida, and they look at me and they're like, ugh, this immigrant Jew woman.
Wow.
So it's like, I feel like just by my appearance and then what I say, I can't do any right. So I'm trying to just explain to people. I'm just trying to be funny and
have you tried blackface?
I think I should. I think I think in Brooklyn, because GD, I just did a show where it's like I met the comic, nicest guy, we're bonding, we're getting along, and then he just does a whole set about like, ugh, white women, ugh. And then Lana Siebel, I'm like, great, hi everybody. They're like already with this hate, so it's like it's just, you can't win. You just can't freaking win these days.
Well, on the opposite of that, you got people like TD who just say, "Where white women at?" So it's sad.
But then they hear what I say, and they're like, "No, we wanted whiter. She's an immigrant. She's liberal. Ugh, get her away." It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But when I say it, Matt, I mean it.
I know you mean it. That's what I'm saying. That's the opposite part of it. It's not, a white woman. It's like, where the white woman at? You're enthusiastic.
Yeah, reparations. Yeah.
So again, once again, the name of the show is Age Appropriate. It's on Dry Bar Comedy, and you can get an app for it or find it on the web. Is that correct? Do I have all
That's
that correct?
correct. Yeah,
It's on
appreciate it.
Roku. You can see it on Roku through their app. So it's a few places.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for getting up and being part of the program.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, you are one of the people I'm glad, because I follow a lot of comedians, and generally I find them on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or all this, and then this is how I started following you. I was very entertained by your reels, but some of those people I get on here, and it's like, you know what, all of a sudden I'm not as impressed with them, but I am really I'm really
that
impressed
means
with
a
you.
lot. I feel the same way about you guys. Please, I'd love to come back. Sorry, I'm a little out of it today.
Yeah,
been a little bit busier, but I really appreciate you guys. That means a lot to me, and you guys are just so fun to hang out with. And I'll have more otter material next time.
All right.
I felt unprepared today. Yeah.
Yeah, and Gigi just put together a show out in Long Island at Gov's last week. If they ever do it again, I think they should try to get you on it.
Oh, that'd be fun. I did a couple of years ago. I opened for Joe DeVito, who's really fantastic comic. He's a national headline. Yeah, he's so yeah. I would love to come back. That'd be great, and I'd love to work with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I will reach out to Angie, and if they'll have me back, then I'll work out something. But hopefully, it'll be I can do a better job promoting and stuff. But
well, I got something else we'll talk about after we say goodbye to Alana. Alana, again, thank you for being part of here. I hope some people will hear this and rush to Dry Bar today to check out your latest special.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you.
Have a great
day. Promo code
right,
Lana Siebel right there, just like that, without the space.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
all
you,
right.
guys.
Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Look at this. We're all lined up here. We are. Are we over time here? We're almost over time, right?
Yeah.
But who's going to stop us?
A lot of people might stop us.
Oh, we have to get rid of Govs though.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No. Okay.
We're done. We're done getting rid of them. They can get rid of themselves.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
They can show themselves out. Jackie might be doing something at Sticks and Stones out in the Hamptons. Now, I still have a comfortable relationship with Abby, who runs Hamptons Comedy Festival and Sticks and Stones Comedy Club out in Southampton, New York. And Jackie was giving me trying to get the 411 out of me on Sticks and Stones, because he's going to do a show out there. And we're talking about it. And I thought, you know what, that would be, if you guys ever come back to Long Island, that's the place to try to, because the Hamptons is money. It's more of a money place. So, but with somebody like, somebody who's a name that we can get on the show. I would love to get Stanhope. I didn't get to talk to Andy about this, but I'd love to get Stanhope and Andy to come to Long Island and then just like stack all the show up with comedians that I know who deserve a break and get some exposure to their audience, because Doug has a huge following here. So anyway, so that's something to think about. Well, I love your signed GD. What is Becky saying? I love your signed GD booking. You look like that GD Easy. I just gotta say, now you still have that QR code for buying tickets for last week up, right?
No, that QR. I know. If you look, there's a slightly different dot formation. It's different. This is for Gig Salad. This QR code is for my site, my page on Gig Salad.
Well, you could have mentioned that to people.
I was busy. The show went. First of all, when we have other comedians on the show, I don't talk about myself. I make it all about them. So there's no way.
Before they got here, when you were doing the Good Morning, by the way, Good Morning America. By the way, that thing is not the last week.
And that was just a blatant lie. Also, when other
no, that's really it for Gig Salad.
I don't try and make it about myself.
That's not a lie. That's really for Gig Salad, Ron. That's not a lie. That's for Gig Salad.
I think we have the.
What did I lie about?
I think we have the brewing of a cockfight.
Oh. Yeah.
No, let's get the cockfight started. You guys cockfight.
Well, I'm leaving. It's 11:30, so cockfight yourself.
Mr. Sausage will win the cockfight. I don't have the.
Well,
no.
If nothing else, I got Ron to say cock while he was here, and that was something, I guess.
Welcome to Minucci's.
At this stage, Ron has a sausage. I have a pool noodle.
So he, basically summing up today's program, Ron thinks I'm the Monopoly guy. He said cockfight. I'm an old boomer, and I'm a retard. Anything else? Did I miss anything else?
I think you covered it.
All right. Stephen wants to tell everybody the phrase that pays, and I'm not going to let him. Now, Stephen and I are going to have a talk about Stephen. I just want to plug this. Stephen next week is going to be doing Declassified with Stephen the sitcom Ortiz, a UFO program on the Mind Dog.
You didn't like Phenomenon? Do. Okay, fine.
It didn't roll off the tongue very well.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for advice anymore.
We're still working on the title for this thing. He wanted to do like Area 69.
Areola 69.
Yeah. I thought about that, but I was like, I don't know.
Actuary. That's not a great idea. Steven,
how about Uncle Fisty's conspiracy party?
I like that.
Uncle Fisty's conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I like that. There you go. Steven, what's
I don't want to be Uncle Fisty.
You have to be.
Some people are called to greatness. Some people are called to greatness. Great.
All right. We're trying to put this thing out of its misery. Steven, what's the phrase that pays?
Oh, don't forget to turn on your radio.
Finish inside me. Finish inside me. That's what I call schlong vision.
His hands were soft and supple.
best friend.
Listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me.